Are you ready?
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We've been.
Yo, what up, Shaq? What up, Street?
What up, brothers? What up, brothers? How y'all doing, man?
Man, we good. We on this thing. What's up, Chris?
What's up? Hold on, I'm trying
Not
to.
much, man.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We get you, brother. Yeah, man. We on
Yeah,
this
can y'all
thing,
hear
man.
me?
Look, we've been MIA for a minute, man. I just had had some things going on in the last couple of weeks, man. But we back at it, man. Back at it, brother. We back at it, man. Once again. I hope everybody all is well on their end. Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, man, everything's all good.
Everything all good? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is what we do, man. This is where we at. We back at it, man. Like I say, man. I know everybody. We've been out there. I've been gone for a minute, man. I had to cover up. I mean, do a few things, man, and do some other things. And
Hey,
do some other
man,
things.
hold up. Let me go ahead and interrupt you real quick. Look, life has been real difficult for me this straight. And I want to tell you that how real Brother Shaq is. He flew from Florida to check on me. And that's part of the delay, and I appreciate it. It was good to do. You know, having somebody there at the time of hard is always important. And I guess that has to do with what our topic today is. You know, learning to channel that negative energy. It's hard because when you're going through an emotional strain, or whatever strain it is, trying to get the positive out of that negative is hard. But I'm gonna tell you, by you coming here, being here for me, I appreciate it, bro. I mean, you didn't have to do that. I know you did it out of love, but I appreciate it, and it delayed the show. It delayed a lot of things, but at the same time, bro, I can't tell you how much it meant that you were here for me. So thank
Hey,
you.
brother.
I ain't gonna talk about it no more because I don't want to hear all that emotional stuff. But I want to let you
Hey, man. Like I said, brother, you know it was all out of love, man. I got to see, like I said, I got to see old brother D, man. I hadn't seen him
Man,
in
I had so much fun. I just hate Big Brother Street couldn't make it, but I know it's gonna be some more days, man, and I'm looking forward to them too.
I am too, bro. I hope I get in a better place someday.
Oh
Oh,
man, you
will.
will, man. Trust me, you got my prayers on that too, big bro.
Thank you. I need it.
Yeah, man. Man, but you know, that we did a lot. We deal with a lot of negativity, man. Here in society today, man. And actually, brother D came up with the title, you know, how to channel your negative energy. Um, and I thought that definitely was something that's great to talk about. And then I spoke with brother Chris, and I asked him about that, what he think about that, and he was in agreement with it, and I thought that was a great title. For us, it's something to talk about because a lot of us don't know how to channel the negative energy. I mean, you know, channel negativity into a positive, actually. Um, and you know, I was telling D one day, man, when we talked about it, I said, you know, it's so funny that you know how, and I'm pretty sure all of us has came across this one day in time that a person tell you when you can't do something and they're being negative and it makes you push you even more to want to do it. I think that's how you channel that negative into a positive. When you know, there's always, you know, I heard the old saying when they say there's always a silver lining on the other side of that cloud, and from what I've been experiencing over these last years, it has. Um, Not to go back to my same situation where, like I said, when me and my wife first moved here to Florida, um, we jumped out. We jumped out on faith, man. You know, we just didn't know what we was coming into, whatever, and it seemed like a lot of negatives what we faced throughout that journey, and it turned into a great positive of, you know, by blessings that, you know, we everything we own now we pay for it, you know, we own, we don't owe nobody for it, you know what I mean? And
Man, congratulations on that. I know y'all worked hard, man.
yeah, man. So that's what I'm saying. But you know, it's something that we thought we would never accomplish, because we went from Erica getting hurt to when we were in Houston to she's not working. We got here. We were home. You know, we stayed in an apartment, and she ended up working. We started getting, the minute we started getting better, then she had a car wreck, and then it put her out for a little bit more time. So, but everything came out with all the negatives that was transpiring. We still came out with positives. And I'm gonna tell you that really strengthened me to not only between us, but help me want to help others that might be going through the same things with similarities. And I think we have to strengthen each other. You know what I mean? When you start seeing negative, to try to feed them that, you know, tell them when they start speaking negative, you try to, you know, help them channel that into a positive. And I think that has happened in my life, and I'm pretty sure it happens in everybody else's. Like I said, right now it's like seems like everything is you know, it's like you're getting it from every which way.
Yeah.
But you got to know that, you know, that there is a silver lining behind it, man. You just can't.
Really getting it from every direction, bro.
Say what now?
So really getting it from every direction, you mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. Every direction you getting it, frontwards, backwards, sides. You know what I mean? You seem like, but it seemed like you.
It seems like you're talking about me, and you ain't trying to tell everybody. I'm messing with you.
And look, hold on. He talking about me too, then. Shit.
Everybody.
Look, everybody get it. Let me hit the smoke.
Everybody getting it, bro. Everybody get it. You know, what's crazy is that there are always negatives, man. There are always negatives, but at the same time, within those negatives, man, and I can tell you, having gone through so many different negatives where there was a silver lining, like Shaq said, in every negative that I went through when I lost my business. You know, shut it down. You know, there was a negative. I learned some things. Going through what I'm going through right now, learning some things. Anytime relationships, you know, die down or whatever the situation is, you learn something. No matter what it is, the negative, there is some positives in it. It's just hard to see sometimes because your vision is so blurry from all of the misery you're feeling, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
But there's positives there.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree, man. And you know, I think the negative energy to me personally should be fueled. You know, and I know a lot of times you can't. You seem like you can't look. You can't even get at a full for tank. Not even more or less get full off of it. But you have to use it as fuel in your life, because honestly, you know what you're capable. You know who you are as a person. Know what, you know, where you're thinking the negative is coming down on you, but you just have to remind yourself who you are. As like what Dee said about a few lives ago, when we said we have to look into that mirror sometime and realize who you looking at, you know?
Yeah.
And when you know who you looking at, that means where you see all the negatives coming in, just know that you're going to come out of whatever you're going through. You know, that's where, and I guess that goes to a belief factor. You know what I'm saying? Of what you know, believing in yourself, you know, and that's why I said the negative energy, you know, it plays a lot of part, because you're looking at everything that's going on around us in this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that, you know, if we didn't turn what everything going around in the world and turn it into a somewhat of a positive or redirect that negative energy, you wouldn't think we probably wouldn't be where we are today. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that's a part of redirecting it. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of channeling. You know, but a lot of times, you know, you can't let it consume you. You know, you notice everybody, when they start facing a lot of negativity, they become negative. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and you just can't let something consume you so much. I mean, I've seen it happen in numerous places. Just like, I mean, I don't know. And what I don't understand, a lot of times, a lot of people put themselves in negative situations. You know, like you know that something is not good for you, but you tend to gravitate to it regularly because it's something at that moment, you know, you think it make you feel good, or hearing someone talk about somebody else. That's a good, oh yeah, man. Well, look, somebody else doing better than me, but then you don't pose a wish on somebody for their demise. You know what I mean? You supposed to try to uplift somebody and take care of them and be around them to uplift them at some point. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know, I wouldn't sit there and be a person to really look at a person and just say, well, they're doing worse than me, so I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Why would I channel that and turn that and you know and make that a positive for my own self, for my self-righteous, you know, for who I am? But to me, am I doing good by me being a person to do that? No, of course I'm not. You know what I mean? So we have to definitely channel our energy in better direction, because if we don't, man, it's like I said, it consumes us and it can be detrimental to our whole life, man, because it start causing problems.
Gotta bring them in.
Health problems, marital problems, relationship, friendships. You can it can do a lot of damage than it can do good. Of course, well, I would say it can do damage. With it is no good in negativity, period. But again, it goes back to when we say you channel that negative energy and use it as fuel in order to fuel you to do better. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? And we have to understand that. You know what I mean? And I guess it's part of understanding too. If we don't have that understanding and understand, you know, like I said, who we are as people, as a person, a man especially, you know, because you know we are men, and you know we believe in certain things that we want to, you know, we have to put up. You know, I wouldn't even say to portray, but because we are men. But I'm trying to find a word that, you know, that we put up. I would guess some would say, you know what I'm saying, some of that fact. But yeah, we have to. What you think about that, bro, Chris? I mean, just talk about that, bro.
Oh, you talking about negative energy? You right about that. It's a lot of how can you put it? I was listening to what you say. It's negativity all around you, but it don't tip my tongue. I was thinking something. My mind went blank again after all that shit.
Hey,
I just got in like an hour ago, so I was late. I'm trying to think. As far as my negative, how I channel my negative energy, man, I get in my backyard and build something out of wood.
So you pretty
There's
much you
negativity
acknowledge
all
the
around
situation.
Right.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
What you say, D?
So you acknowledge the situation that's making you feel negative, and you do something different to take your mind off of it.
Yeah. You have to, because if it'll kill you sometimes. Some of that you channel. You'll take it out on your significant other, your kids, people you see who innocent. You know, and like what Shaq was saying, you shouldn't be happy because somebody else is going through something worse than you. Yeah. You know, I read that Bible verse that said that. You know, you shouldn't. I read it not even 2 days ago. My daily Bible verse, and it says something like that. You should never want to be happy because somebody else is worse than you. You know, but people do that, and I don't know why. But people are never happy when somebody else is happy. Just like people, you say, "Well, I got this car," and then people are like, "Well, I want to get a car." You know. Yeah. You can do it, but you know, people.
It's almost as if it's like they in competition with you or something.
You got this, you got that, so they throwing all this negative at you because they're trying to be negative. But you're telling them you can get it, but they throwing all negativity towards you, towards something that shouldn't even be brought to, you know, out of the open as being negative.
Right.
You know, they want you to feel low for what you got. Yeah, I got these new shoes, but you know they're gonna get dirty. You know they ain't gonna be nothing once you walk in mud or something. You know how people do.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, it's bad to say, man, and I understand that why people would, you know, like sit there and thrive off of somebody, you know, because of they're going through something worse than you're going through. You know what I'm saying? But to me, like I said, I would take that as if someone is going worse, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to encourage them because now I can turn their negative into my positive and their positive. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you know, maybe a person don't have that person to speak to or talk to or to give that positive outlook. You know, remember, this is what this page is about, you know, positive vibes, positive energy. So if it's something that can help somebody, you know, we're trying to redirect all the negativity because everything, like even just on YouTube, man, I mean, they have so many, you'll see somebody talking about somebody going back and forth with somebody, man, and you can see them, you have 300-400 people in the chat. You know what I mean? And you know, like I said, to each their own, but I'm just saying, but how is that helping you listening to negativity? You know what I'm saying? Or somebody beefing or somebody going back and forth. That's, to me, that's not something that I can see that's helpful to you. And I think a lot of people some people I believe don't want help. Some people don't want to hear that positive, you know what I'm saying? Because they feed off so negative, because at that moment it makes them feel good because somebody else is hurting more than they are, you know. And I think that's to me, can you really, I don't see how people live with themselves when they feel like that or when they do that. I couldn't dare see somebody struggling or going through something and I just feel, you know, like, oh, I feel superior because I got more than them or I did this. You know what I'm saying? When I spoke to everyone and I said that how me and my wife worked together to build this, I didn't do that to brag and boast. I begged that to tell them, like, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I put it as, and turn it into a positive note. Because as regardless of how negative it seemed at everything that was going on back to back to back, you know, now it turned into a positive, you know what I'm saying? So, and then it's just like, you know, me and far as me and Eric, we both had deaths, you know what I'm saying? She had her dad pass away. I had my sister pass away. But then, you know, that was a lot of negative back to back. But at the same time, what it did is strengthen us and brought us closer. So that was it seemed like it was negative. It's reality, it's life, but it just still was a part of negative, you know, negative because it started happening right back to back, but it brought us stronger, it built us up stronger. And one good thing, the positive out of that was that we were here by each other. We had each other's back. We was each other's confidant. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was something that turned in something different into something positive. So, but if we get so in tune with everything that's going on around us, man, I think a lot of us, our lives will be a lot more and more shambles. Because like I said, the negativity don't bring nothing happiness in your life. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about how do you channel that negative. You know what I mean? And I really enjoy and I really commend and I give my little brother D for what he came up with about the title of what we're talking about today. I commend him because it makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate you, little bro, that you came up with that, because that was something that, you know, a lot of us, you know, I think someone's feared to talk about, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they try to don't, you know, because they think if you talk about negative, you know what I mean, everything gonna start becoming negative, or you know, we're trying to be negative, but that's not the case. Negativity is reality. It's going to happen, just like Strick said. It's all around us. But how do you channel it? You know, how do you better yourself from it? And I think a lot of us don't really know. Some of us don't even know how to channel that negative. We have to understand and do what we have to do in order to build from it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, and we already know ain't nothing going to be perfect. Ain't nothing going to be easy. Because sometimes they say if it's too easy, then you need to worry about it, because, you know, you got to work toward it. You know what I mean? And everybody on this panel had to work for what they got or got themselves into. I don't care if you had it, you lost it, you got it back again, but you know what it took to get it again. You see what I'm saying? All I gotta say this: if you're coming into there to view the thing, please hit that like button on your way in, please, so that we can get it, so we can get this video out, get these videos out there and putting them out there, man, so that we can share more positive vibes. But yeah, though, but you know what I'm saying? So this is what I mean, like I said, when we last, I think it was last week, whatever, when we finally got on for a hot minute, I was like, I was missing this, you know what I'm saying? So this is where that I'm enjoying. I'm glad that we're speaking on this, you know what I'm saying? Would you like to add anything to that, brother D?
I mean, shit. Channeling your negative energy. You just gotta know what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Look at how it's making you feel, and then
Right.
from there, you can kind of control it from there. But just comes with growing and maturing, man. Knowing what you could do to make you think or make you feel better cost you some serious time. You know, just whatever it is, or it can come back to get you in the worst way. You know, I had this one lady house I was servicing. She was telling me that negative energy is good sometimes. I mean, as far as you being able to control yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because you got options. When something presents it to you, man, you got options on what you want to do or how you want to handle it. You know, just know that whatever you do is gonna cost you.
Right.
Especially when you're dealing with negative energy, man, that make you feel some type of way, and it make you act out in a way that ain't normally you. You
Mm,
know, so
mm.
it's in the Bible. So we all you got to know how to
Can I
control it
interject?
though.
Can I
I can
interject?
I can I can I can go and touch the bottom to your bone and tell you some stuff because I don't act out. You know what I'm saying? I don't showed up and showed out. It's weird. It's weird. It don't be you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to really control yourself though.
D, let me ask you this. For me, every negative, I mean, when we say negative, the reality is that there's a positive in every negative, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
That. I mean, even when I go through the trials and tribulations that I'm going through personally right now, the reality is I have to be able to look at the positive side. Jack had mentioned that before. Look at what's positive. When I went through the drama that I went through, there were people that were there for me. All
Yeah.
around the country, there were people that were making phone calls. That was a positive. Then somebody else said something, say, look here, man, you're going through what you're going through, but at the same time, you're not by yourself. In the midst of every hard and turbulent time, there are positives. And when you see that, then you eliminate the negative because you recognize what is positive in the situation. And it helps you. It builds you up, especially during a hard time, because we all have them. The important thing is to recognize what's positive, not the dramatic journey that you go through because of the negative activity, but in the midst of that negative activity, there is positive. It's
It
just
is.
sometimes. And you have to be able to bow down and just say, look, I'm not a religious person. You guys talk about faith all the time. You talk about the Bible all the time. I'm going to be quite perfectly honest with you. I'm not a firm believer in the Bible. What I am a firm believer in is doing the right thing. So if that comes from the Bible, I'm with it. If it comes from the Quran, I'm with it. If it comes from the Torah, I'm with it. I don't care. What I do care about is being a decent person. And sometimes when you're going through a turbulent time, it's important to have people that will be able to interject and say, look, you know what? It is bad, but there is a positive.
Mm-hmm.
There is a good. And you have to see that good in order to strive and survive through the bad. Because it's all about putting tools in the toolbox when negative things happen. You recognize how to deal with them as they come in another form. And if we do that, it makes it a little bit easier to cope with issues as they come along. It's just it's the way I think about things, because I know that, man, I wish that I could say that life has been easy. Life has been very hard, but at the same time, you deal with it as it comes, as we all do.
Right.
Right. And I would agree with you on that, man. And I think, that goes back to energy. It's like, a person can put all their energy in negativity, in which they don't realize with the strength they have to turn that negative into a positive. I think they don't even have I'm trying to look at the word I'm looking for this, but they don't even know how. I'm sorry. What'd you say? I'm sorry, I hear you. Yeah, but yeah, they don't even know how to like you said, to channel it. you know, because they're so fixated on it and they think there's no positive into it. You know what I mean? And that's where I believe people talk their way out of anything positive, really. I know we all then came across people, everything they say is negative. Everything I'm talking about, everything they say is a negative. Oh man, I can't do this. Oh man, I wish I was like you. Oh man, I don't know if I could do this. Man, I can't do this. I can't. And that word "can't" is a horrible word, man. It ain't no such thing as you can't do nothing in your life. You know what I'm saying? And now
I don't know. I ain't flown yet, bro.
Yeah, what?
I ain't flown yet, but I'm trying.
Well, look, you know what I'm talking about. But but that's what I'm saying though. But people, if you set your mind to something, you definitely can get it accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like D was talking about once before, he said that, when you should fuel off of a person telling you what you can't do or what's not possible. Oh, I want to do this by next year. Oh, you can't do that. Well, look, you know what? Just because you said you should want to do it for yourself, don't get me wrong. But just the point of person telling me that it's like a challenge. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure all of us at some point are competitive. You know what I'm saying? And competitive in life to me is like, I mean, I'm competitive when the person tell me what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? And that to me, that's my fuel. So that's why I channel my negative energy if someone tell me I can't do something. Or they laugh, or they think, they giggle, or they're like, man, you crazy, whatever you want to call it. But that's my fuel that's my channel. That's how I channel. That's how I redirect all that negative energy. Because a person will try to put what they didn't accomplish on you, that they're saying that you can't do it. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? Because if I can't do something, I would say, hey, D, you could, hey, man, I might not have done it, but hey, man, but look, I got an idea. Ooh. Hey, man, if you take interest in this, why don't you try this? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to continue to keep that. And everybody here that's on this panel now that had someone maybe come across them that might have needed that positive out of they coming at you truly negative, and you just redirected and you changed that. You know what I'm saying? It made them maybe have a different thought process, I would say. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that we can do as brothers. Like I said, I'm pretty sure everybody on this panel would, if we go know one another going through something or whatever, we're gonna try to do our best to try to make it better, or try to make them see it in a different light. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's something that I'm sorry. I thought somebody was saying something. I don't know why I keep seeing like it's an echo or something. But yeah, so I mean, so that's something that, and I just look at life itself, man, is so, oh my God, man. I see negativity everywhere I drive, everywhere I go. You know what I mean? And there's certain things that, and not everybody is that approachable that you can see something that you can, that you want to see them, they always can't complain. Like, it's just how many times I've seen people on the side of the road and they complaining and they ain't got nobody to come get them, and all of a sudden somebody come by and help them out. They don't even know them from Adam. You know what I'm saying? So you saw that was a negative situation that turned into positive for you. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing situations where I've helped women prior to by helping them change a tire, put air in the tire, change a battery, fix something their car wouldn't start. And I've done it and I helped them. Well, guess what would happen? Guess what that happened that turned around for me? Well, if my wife been stuck out somewhere and someone helps her, so I put that energy out. You see what I'm saying? So it's, even though that it seemed like it's so difficult now because everybody don't know what some people's intentions are. If they start on the side of the road, if you're gonna get robbed or whatever the case may be. But you know what I'm saying? But hey, sometimes you see a situation where you just, you feel like you got to spring into action. You know what I mean?
That's the truth, man.
Yeah, man. So
considering I just came back from helping somebody and they broke down car, I guess you're right.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? So it could come back to you. You know what I'm saying? That's challenging and negative energy. You know what I mean? And you help somebody else in a situation where they figure they didn't have no help. And that could come back to you or somebody that you know. You know what I'm saying? That's where they understand, because you sometimes with the energy that we put out, sometimes the energy that we receive. You know what I'm saying? If you got your mindset on everything is going wrong, everything like this, man, sometimes you put that energy out there, man, and it seems like it'll bounce right back to you because you studied putting out that type of energy. And I think a lot of times with us, I like everybody here, regardless of which everybody's going through or might have been through on here, I feel that we have that positive energy that's with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're speaking freely. Ain't nobody judging, ain't nobody arguing, ain't nobody fussing. So these are the things that we're doing as brothers, as speaking. And you know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's nothing better than I think that women can hear men, or hear people can hear men speaking without raising their voice and you know what I mean, doing different things. You know what I'm saying? That's you know, as when we're trying to bring something positive, you know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of people just don't really see what we're trying to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I said, being on this panel with you brothers, man, is like a joy for me. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Because like I said, man, you know, I feel like I've missed something because I ain't been on here with y'all for a few days. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, it's like, man, I know Strick was asking, man, you ain't do the show today, you ain't do this, dude. Like, you gonna go live, Chris, like that? Hey man, you ain't go live, man. Hey, you know, and I feel like I missed everything. I'm like, dang. I said, yeah, man. I said, I gotta get back on it, man. You know what I mean? So that's what I enjoy this. And like I said, that's just what a lot of people, man, don't know how to really, like I said, to do all that challenge, man. We have to do better. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody here is I'm not speaking directly to us, but I'm just speaking in general around us, because we can be 4 positive brothers, but then there's other 4 million, 5 million people. You know what I'm saying? You got some that's positive, some is not. You know what I'm saying? But we have to do something different, or we have to try to build each other. And like I said, and try to stay away from that negativity. Because like I said, there are people like, you know, I wouldn't go. Why would I go in a crowd of people that's talking about doing negative stuff? What would that make me? You know what I'm saying? How would that make me a person that can do something and make me just a bit, like you said, but there again, like you stated, you said now it's like more of a test for you. So that means if you are around a bunch of negative people, can you stay positive? You see what I'm saying? So I think that prepares you for a lot of things too. You know,
I mean, the fact that you have options, you know what I'm saying? You have an option. You do. You know, you control yourself. A lot of people forget that. They try to control other things other than themselves. You know, and that's where you kind of fumble at sometimes. You know, I like I say, when you dealing with something negative, you know, from my experience, nothing I Google, you really got to look at the situation, and then you got to really look at yourself. You know what you're capable of doing. I know, you know, so, and you know what could happen. I mean, it happens just that quick within the blink of an eye, though. But you can kind of pause it and feel it and know, like at this moment, you know this can happen, and you kind of catch yourself, man.
right.
It's a tingling feeling. I can't explain it, but you know, you got to, you know, really be careful and watch your actions, man. Especially when they come around you. Because it ain't about, you know, what they gonna do or whatever. It's really what you gonna do. You know? I mean, yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Especially when it come around you. I mean, it ain't gonna, you know, hit you in the back of the head or nothing, but when you in that atmosphere and you know it's really you. It ain't them.
Yeah. And it's amazing you say that, because I remember my mom used to tell me, and I'm pretty sure everybody used to hear that, you know, don't you hang with that bad crowd. You know what I'm saying? Don't you go out there and hang with that bad crowd. You know them boys out there doing something wrong. You know, and you know the crazy thing about it is that I would, regardless of what she told me, I still would go hang around that negative crowd. You know
Of
what I'm saying?
course. We all played in that
Oh my
water.
God, that is crazy, man. That, you know, it is so funny. You know, much as they tell you that, you still would go do it. You know, but
Yeah.
I think, you know, some things are the beginning, but I think sometimes it requires, to me, it's the end result. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody then did they dirt or did whatever they did in life, but what have you became now? You see what I'm saying? What have you chosen? What life have you chosen before? Because you look back and you see some of the guys where you done moved on and you doing things differently, and they're still doing the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So, so that means, we was talking about something the other day about who was I talking to? That was that Strick? No, that wasn't Strick. It might have been D. Somebody when we was talking about how people say I'm from the hood and I'm from the hood and I'm from the hood and I'm from the hood. And I'm like, is that something to brag on? You know what I'm saying? What did you turn out? Well, how did you turn that into a positive? You from the hood. Well, how did you come out of that? You know what I'm saying?
Don't let me cut you now. Hold on now.
Well, here goes the thing, Strick. Here goes the thing. When a person you mentioned, but you use that when you use that in a positive way, I would say where you was, like my mama said, you never know. What was the saying? She said, you can say where you've been, but you can't say where you're going. You know what I'm saying? And that stuck with me for many years because, and I'm thinking like, okay, so you've been in the hood, you stayed in the hood, but where are you going? You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What is the end result of that? And I guess that's what I use that in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear people say, but then people use that I'm from the hood for intimidation, or I'm from the hood to use it in a negative way. You say you from the hood, or we all stay in the hood, but do that define of who we are?
Yeah, but it's a defense mechanism sometimes, I mean, culturally, we have very few defenses. One of the things that we can say is that we tough. And that's what into geared towards. So what happens is that, you're in a situation like, man, like me, I'm from the Bronx. Well, what do people recognize from the Bronx?
Hip hop.
Probably a tough.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
So but the thing is that, or I'm from the ward or whatever city it may be. That's a defense mechanism because what happens is that you're in a position where it's like, what do I do? What do I do? Only thing I got is my mouth. Yo, this is where I'm from. Yo, I'm not hoping to, it sounds crazy, but it's hoping to de-escalate the situation because you don't want to mess with somebody from that area.
Right. I get it, but the thing I think that carries me how far can that take you though?
Oh, it can't take you very far.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not questioning what you're saying, but I'm just talking in general. Some people use that so much where they really in their mind believe that that's going to carry them a long way because just saying I came from the hood.
Yeah, it is not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's not going to carry you very far. I mean, yeah, it probably gets you out of situation. If you're in a situation like, oh man, I'm from the hood, I don't play or we don't play there in the hood, but okay, but what if somebody else from the hood? Then now what? You know what I'm saying? Now what happens then? And they're about that life. They're about getting down or, you're going to show me you from the hood. Let me see where your mind at. Let me see what your hand game look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you got to prove yourself. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes that could be a negative. You know what I mean? Because somebody might call you off on that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might
call you from the hood, but you act like you from the hood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I know some cats that say they from the hood and they some big old powder puffs. You know what I'm saying? Probably a run if they hear a pin drop. You know what I mean?
Stop talking about me, man. Stop talking about me, bro. Stop talking.
Whatever. Come on, I know better than that. I know better than that, boy. That boy, at one point in time, boy, Strick was all right.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. But there again, I mean, do you I've heard it, and I don't know, that discussion came up somewhere, and I can't remember where. But when it was talking about that, and like I said, I don't knock nobody say that from me. I mean, you use it to the point where I think it was a point of if I'm trying to illustrate something or tell a person where I came from to where I'm at now, that there again, for I came out of the next situation and turned into a positive for where I am now, who I am today. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, Casey, how you doing, sis? Yeah, but Yeah, but you know what I mean. But some people try to use that, like I said, like you said, I would agree, strict a defense mechanism, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you say you're from the hood, people are like, ooh, oh, he's from the hood. You know what I mean? In which, you know, like I said, I mean, but that's just the same thing goes on when I've heard people say, I've been to prison. Okay, you've been to prison, so what? I mean,
same thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been to prison. Yeah, man, I did. And you know, and it's crazy, man. I heard this one guy, and he say, "Oh, I've been to prison," but bro, you did 15 months, but you got this other cat been over here did 15 months. Then you did out of the 15 months, you did 8 months on house arrest. So you've been in prison. Huh? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like there again, you're trying to use it as a defense mechanism, but what that supposed to do? I don't care if a person been together, you know, jail, you know, like they said, they got true people out there. They got people that's true killers. They got people that's true fighters that's about what they want, what they talk about. You got some people that just talk a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a perfect instance, man. There was a guy that I was working with when I first came to Florida. He said, yeah, man, I've been to prison, I've been this, I've been that, man, and this is where I know it got real out. Like it was like I thought it was imaginary, or he thought he was in a fairy tale or something. He said, yeah, it was a fairy tale. Because what he told me now, if he just said I did this, I did that, whatever, you know, it's kind of believable. When he said, yeah, man, I fought about 6 cops, I ran one over with a car, and I did all this other stuff, man. Yeah, and they only gave me a year and a half. Okay,
man.
Okay. You know, see, that's what I'm saying. That ain't a defense mechanism. That's just flat out retarded. Because if you think somebody's gonna believe that nonsense, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Let's be realistic. But found out that the cat was he went to jail for a DWI. You know what I'm saying? Like he went to. But why would you have to lie in order to put that mechanism out there? You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that. You know what I mean? But you got people out there like that. Or if you did something
like that,
yeah, or if you say like you might say, well, yeah, man, me and my wife bought a house. Oh man, I bought 2 of those. I gotta have a one up on me. You know what I'm saying? I remember, dude, I told him, I said, man, I want to, man. He said, oh yeah, man, I had a 4-cabin yacht, whatever, you know, 50, 60 foot, whatever. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. but you bad I got a car right now. I mean, come on now. Yeah, all right. I mean, I can't tell if they lying or not, but to me, it sounded like a lie. You know what I mean?
People like that, man.
Yeah.
I would talk about the prison. There's one dude I met. I serviced his house. He spent 23 years for murder. Man, that dude was happy as hell. He was really happy. He was happy to work at the. I mean, but he wasn't talking about. He never mentioned anything about prison. But then I meet people who've been to prison, like I did 2 years and I did another 2 years, and then they talk about it more than people who've been in there longer. And I don't understand that. And it's like I don't get it. You know, I'm like
real time. That's what you call it, real time. I don't know nothing about that shit, but them people come out different. Opposed to somebody who been in there for a year or two, people that's been in there for like 15 plus, like day for day, man.
Yeah,
but you know what? Funny thing you said that, man. God rest my cousin's soul, though, man. My cousin, when he first came out of jail, he went to school. He went to jail when he was 25. He came out when he was 40. You know what I'm saying? He came out. He was changed. He came out. He said, "Man, I ain't going back to prison." But I had to ask him the question. I said, "Say, man, what really get them cats to keep coming in and out?" He said, "They ain't do enough time." He said, let them go do about 10, 15 years flat. And he said, you'll see it. He said, they wouldn't be coming right back in here. They'd be trying to do everything they can to stay out of here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and it made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? That these guys, you know, they think they do a few months and get some street credibility. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, I've been to bed. Man, oh, I just got out. You ever heard cats come to you, man? What's up, man? Oh, I just got out, man. Oh, okay. So what you doing since you just got out? Oh man, well shit, I'm gonna go to the club and I'm finna do. Oh, okay. So you trying to go back in, ain't you? You know what I'm saying? Because you know pretty much the club or whatever probably got you in there. You know, that just where it just goes back to when you said negative energy. If you know you went to prison or went to jail for something, and you go right back to what you did to get you in there, why would you go back to that same situation? When you think you'll go the whole total opposite way of where you going? I mean, where you know what I'm saying, not to get you back in there. And some of these guys be having children, some of these guys be having families, and you rather go spend, well, we kind of know why sometimes why they go spend time, they'd rather go spend time in prison. You know what I'm saying? You know, but hey, it is what it is, man. We just it's reality, man. You know, and like I said, negativity is reality.
Yeah, boys.
So you want to come up, boy? You could. Hey, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I'd say my being. It's like I wake up, I pray, and I go. You know, I pray for friends, family, even my enemy, because you know you got them out there. But you know, negative come to you because especially working in public. You got people don't like you because you're a man. You don't like because you're a black man. You drive a truck. Your truck is clean. You got these shoes on, and then you just look at them and like, nah, it ain't happening today. I'm gonna move. And sometimes I just move around.
Right.
You know, because I know when somebody come at me negative, I just move around from the circle. When I see you thinking that way, I'm moving around from the circle. You know, I have a friend that always met you with a smile. My friend Walter. Is a Hispanic friend of mine, my brother. He always met people with a smile. He said, Chris, I don't think negative. I don't try to think negative. You know, well, people think negative of me because I am Hispanic, but I look white. And he said people be negative towards me because I'm not Hispanic enough. Or he's in LA and he has a lot of black friends, and I guess there's some Hispanic in LA don't like black people. But he said that's just negative on their part. And I try not to be that way. He would tell me stuff like that. He said, man, I'm happy. You know, I'm happy. And I try not to think negative. But people always coming at me negative. And I was like, but I've never seen him be negative towards somebody, talk about him or one up him or down him. I've never seen that in him. And I was like, wow, that's rare. That's a rare human being to me because a lot of people do. We all guilty of that. I'm sorry, we are. You know, I try not to do that because I don't want to look down on nobody anymore.
Right.
You know, and you know you shouldn't.
No,
you shouldn't because nobody is better than anybody else. You know.
But you know what though, Chris? The crazy thing about it is you have the same possibilities. You have the same. You can do the same that they do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes people say, "Oh, well, he was born with money, you know, spoon in their mouth or whatever." But at the same time, that should be that should be your fuel. You know what I'm saying? To strive. I mean, if that's something, you know what I mean? Everything, you know, things are materialistic. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something going to better you and your family, you know what I'm saying? Why not do it? It's just because like I said, you know, they always say it ain't what money, how to make the money ain't the hard part. Keeping the money is the problem. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, you know, really you see situations that happen around us that, like I said, I don't feed in the negativity. You know what I'm saying? I really never have. But at the same time, I mean, I caught myself periodically, you know, falling into it where a person said, you this, you that, and especially with my ex-wife, oh my God, it was like a back and forth with her. You know, and then I had to realize that, you know, wait a minute, you're trying to feed all this negativity on me and turn this thing around and try to make me believe in what you're believing in as far as nothing positive. So, you know, you want to do the finger point contest. You want to say this, you know, at some point, somebody got to say, wait a minute, you know, look, we're not getting away with this. You know, it's just like even a person arguing with somebody or going back and forth. I'm not going to argue with a grown individual. I'm not doing it. I'm not going back and forth with no grown individual. So that means it's one or two things. Either I'm going, one or two things are going to happen. Either we're going to resolve it or I'll walk away from it because it's not nothing coming good out of it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could, you know, sometimes the way you like just like Dee was saying, you know, he said this all the time. It's about your deliverance. So that means if I deliver something in a negative way, I might get a negative response. But then even if a person is thinking negative and I give them a positive response, it might take a couple minutes. But guess what? If I continue being who I am as a positive person, then guess what? Eventually that person, either they're going to stop or they're going to fall into where the positive, we'll see where the positive came out of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm not finna go back and forth and argue with no grown individual. Some people can do it. Some people can have that energy. I don't have that energy. That's one way I wouldn't channel no energy to nothing with an argument with a grown individual. You know what I mean? And that's someone I'm with. That's someone I'm cool with. Somebody, and the guys that I'm on here cool with. We don't argue. We talk. We discuss. We talk about things. We don't go get into all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might. Hey, Strick might say, well, Shaq, I really disagree with that. I ain't gonna say, well, how dare you disagree? Well, D might say, well, Shaq, maybe look at it like this, bro. And then I'll be like, oh, I ain't gonna say, well, D, how you can't do? No, we're not gonna do that. So that means we turn whatever it might be, something that might be going on, but we're gonna turn that into a positive because we're not gonna fall out between a situation that sometimes neither one of us can control. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where some happens with some people. Some situation that they can't control, they just rather keep feeding it to the negative instead of just taking a step back and saying, hey man, wait a minute. We're not getting no resolution. We're not getting no solutions to this. Why are we continuing to argue about something that's not, because I think anybody as a grown individual ain't gonna take for another grown individual hollering and screaming at them, because ain't nobody here a child. Everybody's a grown individual. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's grown. So nobody's gonna take nobody screaming and hollering at them. I know I wouldn't. I don't think nobody else would either. You know what I'm saying? But it don't take all that. It don't take all that. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's too much negative energy. You know what I'm saying? So we and I think that's where sometimes we get caught up in, like I said, all the negative and feeding into all that negative. And that negative, man, I'm telling you, because I ain't never known nobody being negative feel that they might feel good at the moment for a hot minute, but when they gonna start realizing what's going on, it ain't gonna make you feel good. I feel much better being positive than I do trying to be negative. And I have to force myself to be negative if it came down to that. So that's why I'd rather not use my energy to think negative. You know what I'm saying? But some people can. Some people continue. I know people that, man, continue. I mean, every time I come across them, they negative. It was a guy that I worked with at Metro. He complained. He'd been in Metro 20-something plus years, almost 30 years. And when I tell you, that dude complained every day. Every time I saw him. Hey, man, how your day? Oh, it could be better. Hey, man, so how you do this? Oh, man, well, you know what I mean? They could pay me more. Hey man, so what you doing this weekend? Shit, I gotta just get ready for the next week coming this summer guns. You know what I mean? Like, that's so good. They got nothing negative to say. But I tell you what, I used to always be cool with that some gun because he was one of them I think would come to the job and shoot it up. So I'll be like, oh hey man, you all right? But regardless of how you try to turn it, anything that he says into a positive, he still stick with his negative. Some people, life depends on negativity, man. And why is that? I don't understand, man. Like I said, we got this channel. Like I said, if we were talking about, doing something crazy or arguing back or going on somebody else's channel and talking about it, we have about 80, 90, 100 people off of here. You know what I'm saying? But something positive, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear no positive, man. They'd rather hear negativity, man. And I don't get that. I really don't get that. Like Sister Casey be on there speaking some good stuff on her channel. You know what I mean? She might get, a few people on there, whatever part, but if it's something positive, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. And I don't understand why especially us as people, man, how do we gravitate to negativity? Can anybody answer that question for me? I would just love to hear the reaction because that's something that's puzzling to me. Can anybody answer that question to me? Can anybody? Sister Case, can you answer that for me? Why do people you think in your the way you look at it, or Sister Section Mate? Can y'all tell me why do people gravitate to negativity? Can anybody relate it to me? I'm just about why. I mean, maybe what you in your opinion why you think that? Because I'm curious because I never understood why people go to more negative. Like they just said, like you remember, you used to go to the club, and you know, hey man, you know they're gonna, you know they shoot every week, but you still go to the club. I don't get that, bro. You know, I mean, I got to the point I might have went once or twice, but after that, man, I'm like, nah, it's a chance I might get shot. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody I know get shot. So I just rather just stay with me. I'm not gonna go there no more. You know, but people gravitate to anything that's gonna be negative. And it begins to get overwhelming because now I think when it comes to negativity, to me, it starts becoming a part of your life. You might not have been a negative person, but when you gravitate to so much negativity, it starts causing problems with your relationships, your friendships. Yep. It start playing up. It start becoming a part of you, and then you start becoming so negative, and you know what I mean. It's like where things you wouldn't react to, you're reacting to it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, man. And so-and-so said this. Hey, Chris, D said this about you. Oh, he said this about me. What? Woo, you get what I'm saying? Instead of saying, hey, man, let me call up D, man. Let me see what's going on, man. But you know what? But then I'm being negative because I'm telling you what D said. You know what I'm saying? But D is man enough, or Chris man enough, or Strick man enough to come to you and say if they got an issue with you, they're gonna talk to you. It don't take another person for me to tell you to tell me, for me to tell D. You get what I'm saying? People, they have the solution to these type of things, but they choose not to. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather go through the next person or go through, channel it through something. So if you channel that to another negative person, guess what? If I could tell you something, Chris, by the time they get to Strick, that story didn't change 3 times.
You ain't lying now.
You see what I'm saying? Why is that? You get what I'm saying? It's crazy. Instead of telling you exactly what was said, you rather change the story. Oh man. So hey Chris, well I heard D did this. Hey D, Chris, hey, you know, hey D, Chris told me that, you know, that you did this, or you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, something to that fact. But it's just crazy how it would change. It go to one person and they get to change it around. But then is that being positive? You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm like, I would rather tell you, hey man, he's like, man, that D did this, or Chris did that, or Strick did that. I'll be like, well, man, why don't you go talk to him, man? I'm not finna go feed into that nonsense. Because that's negative. That means I'm being messy. I'm being, you know, whatever the case may be. I'm not doing that. But we have those type of people, man. They feed and gravitate to negativity, man. Oh my God, man. Sometimes, huh?
So you ain't lying. You got people that really just negative people, and everybody met them. It seemed like, I ain't gonna say born negative, but something made them negative to where they can't even think positive. They don't want to think positive. All they want to think is negative all the time. I was talking to one of the barbershop owners, and he was on some gangster stuff, and I was like, man, you're a black man with a business. You can, first of all, he got out of prison. His brother gives him a barbershop. Hey, you got a business, but all he could think of is negative stuff. And he was like, I don't want to hear all that brother stuff. I don't want to hear the Muslim was talking about that too. I don't care about that. I was like, it's sad. I just said, that's a sad individual, 50-something years old, and still thinking that way, man. Either you're going to grow up or you're going to die that way. That's all I got to tell you.
But
that
you know what?
Is sad,
though.
That is sad. That if he's on that mindset and here he is trying to, he's put in a position to progress and to probably help others, but yet your mindset, it's the difference between, I was telling somebody the other day, I don't know whether it was Shaq or whatever, I said, I'm a hood cat, all right? I'm a hood dude. I'm from the Bronx, bro. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I know more hood shit than I know anything else probably. But at the same time, I'm not ghetto.
Right. That's who I had that conversation. That was you. Sure.
You right there, straight.
There's a difference between being hood and being from the hood and having a ghetto mentality. See, because you can't get out of a ghetto mentality unless you're willing to fight, But if are you that individual that throws their juvenile who's coming out of the detention center a welcome home party? You know what I'm saying?
Or going in party.
Yeah, are you that individual that's clapping and applauding when they finish their juvenile detention center? Oh, like it's a graduation and shit. There's a difference between hood and ghetto, bro. You know, because you can get all the education in the world, but if you don't leave the ghetto, and I mean that on so many different senses, not just culturally for Black people. I mean in general. If you don't leave the mentality of which you come from and progress to a better or a more conducive way to do things, then you will truly miss the mark. You know, so it doesn't matter where you come from, it's where you are and what you're willing to put yourself through. So negative energy can be utilized on so many different levels. You could take negative and make it even more negative.
Yep. Okay, Strick, I got something to ask you too, Strick. I was talking to this one lady and I was telling her I'm from South Park. And the first thing she said, you don't act like you from South Park. And I was like, what is acting like I'm from that area, from South Park? I said, what is acting like you from the hood?
Yeah,
and I didn't understand that. I thought it was ignorant.
Well, it's ignorance because the thing is that they've never left. Reality, I hear people say, you from the Bronx? Wait, you don't sound like you from the Bronx. Or you're more articulate than the other ones. What are you trying to say?
look. Like that's a compliment or something.
Yeah, like that's a compliment. I had an officer do that one time, many years ago. He got in a bunch of trouble, wound up getting fired. He was all in the newspaper and all this stuff. And I never thought he was a racist. But what happened was he said, we don't need your people here. And he said that to a taxi driver, just happened to be from Africa. Now, granted, he might have had some racial intention behind it. I don't think so. He was just saying, look, if you ain't gonna abide by the laws, we don't need your ass here. I don't care where you came from. But that's not the way it was interpreted. So as I'm having a conversation with him, he says, well, Strick, you're not like the other Black guys. I said, what you mean? He says, well, you talk different. You act different. I said, well, different doesn't automatically mean good. You know that, right?
Right?
Exactly. For me, now, and I don't want to get cut when I say this, but I come from a different era, a different breed. I'm that start a union dude. I'm that, what you say would happen? No, we can't do that. I don't give a damn what color you came from. If it's wrong, it's wrong. So for an individual to be saying something like that to me, you not like the other ones, all that does is put some rabbit ears up on me and say, yo, so where you coming from?
Right.
You know? But essentially, he really wasn't coming from a bad place without ignorance, okay?
Yeah.
He was coming from a place that he knew beyond his own ignorance. He was coming from a place that he knew. It wasn't racially based, but it was what he knew. So that means that essentially, you know, our society is based on what?
Racism, race.
You know, it is. It is what it is. And that's the negative that we have to turn positive. You know, for our own lives, because we can't do it on a village. We always talk about doing it on a village basis. But the reality is that we can only start a village with that man in the mirror.
Yeah, it starts with you. Yeah, absolutely.
So we can talk village all day long, but it starts with individuals having a different mindset.
You know, funny thing you said that, Stricky, you brought that point up. Now here goes the thing that this is really what gets me. Oh man, you trying to talk white.
Oh man, we gotta stop talking like that.
That burns me up, bro.
Bro, listen to my name, brother. My name. I've had people tell me your name is white. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not though. So I don't know. I really don't know. All I can tell you is that I'm not. So yeah, the way you talk white. Yeah, absolutely.
I've never understood. I mean, so to me, that ain't no positive thing. That's not something that's not a compliment when you're telling me, but again, you don't talk black. What is talking white and what is talking black?
I don't get it either.
The difference is simple. It's ghetto versus hood. You see what I'm saying? You want to know why I don't talk ghetto. That's what you're saying.
Well, to me, I think that I would take that better than you telling me I'm talking white.
I don't. Yeah, of course you would, but the reality is that they're saying, why aren't you talking ghetto? Why aren't you talking slang? Why aren't you using ebonics? Why why are you not using something that would make us unify? Why you ain't saying, using bro or my dog, colloquialism or something, that they say, well, you're white. I've heard people say, your name is Arrington. That's white. I'm like,
What's your name?
My name is Arrington.
Arrington?
That's my name, Arrington, yes. But it was the last name that my father gave me from a military friend of his.
Oh, okay.
So, and I mean, but the thing is that the perception is that you from the Bronx and your name is Arrington. You white. No, I'm not. I went to boarding school. That conceived me to be white. No, we just had a little extra cash. We have a lot of money. Had a little extra cash, and I need to go to school.
Right.
But you hear that. You hear that.
But that bother, and like some of, we can't be articulate. You know what I'm saying? We can't speak correctly. You know what I mean? It's like, but then look, they always say you got to know better, do better. So that things of is, I know I couldn't get away with saying, you feel me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Where was that gonna really get me through life?
Thing to hear.
Yeah,
You
and I get it, but you know what I'm saying. But sometimes it goes about like they say, are you able to adapt to your environment? You know what I mean? Or are you willing to? It's not like I'm changing. It's just like I'm speaking correct English. I'm not talking Ebonics.
Or the English that we speak. The reality is that, when people start hearing me talk and they say, well, I had a lady tell me that today, you're very articulate. And all I can think of is, okay, because what are you saying? As opposed to what?
Right.
As opposed to what? Because the reality is that if you engage yourself with individuals that are on a level that aren't intellectually compatible, then you're going to have that result. So you got to change your surroundings, buddy.
Yeah, right.
I got to change your surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, people, I don't know. My name is Chris. So I got the most common name in the world. And
I don't know, John is
on the phone, I had this old black lady. I'll never forget it. She told the people at my office, she said, is he black? If he white, I don't want him in my house. She said, he black? And she said, oh, thank God, because he sound white over the phone. And I was like, how do I sound white over the phone? I thought I sounded normal.
Wait, she said if he's black, he doesn't want to eat.
No, she said if he's white, I don't want him in my house.
Really?
But then a black lady, but then found out I was black, and girl said, no, he's black. And she said, oh, but he sound white. And she told me that. She said, oh, you sound white on the phone. I'm glad you black. You sound so white on the phone. I was like, but I'm just talking normal to you.
Chris, question. Did you find that offensive, though?
A little bit, because I thought, who cares? I'm a serviceman. Whether you black or white, who cares? You're a serviceman, but you got certain people who are like that. You got all races, Arab.
No, you're
got,
right.
oh man, we don't even bring up that subject.
The reason why I said that is because not recently, but some time ago, I had an individual who came to do some contracting work at my house. I want to do some remodeling. And he was a Arab guy, kind of. And at the time, there was the unrest going on in China. And he's sitting in my living room, and he's discussing doing some contractual work. And this was on the news because I watch the news all the time. And he says, oh, man, I don't care about them. They can all die for all I care. He's sitting at my table, my dining room table, talking about doing some construction work. He says, they can all die. We have what we have, and we don't need to give them anything. We don't need to do anything. And I said, yo, bro, these are young kids. He says, yeah, but I don't care nothing about them. I'm here now, and I'm glad to be here. I said, yo, you know what? I need you to leave my house.
Well, no.
I need you to leave my house because you're a piece of shit.
Right.
Now, mind you, we're two people of color. He's talking about these Asian kids saying that they can all die. Bro, I was so heartbroken. Now, mind you, the owner of the company came back wanting to assure me that, what transpired is not normal. And I'm just looking at him. I'm like, well, where's the guy at that was sent to my house? Oh, he's at another case right now. So obviously there was no disciplinary action. So guess what? I need you to leave. Okay? I'm gonna need you to get out my house. And anybody that would represent your company like that, it's your company. You're a piece of shit too. by.
Yeah.
These are people of color. So the only way to change that negative was for me to stand up and say no.
Yeah.
And it made it a positive to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, that $25,000 that I was willing to spend back then, guess what? It won't go in your pocket.
Absolutely. I would agree.
It won't go in your pocket. So,
but you know, the funny thing, man, and you know, me being in construction out here in Florida, man, I had my old boss, man. Matter of fact, I called him today. His name was Bob. He was an older white gentleman, man. That he showed me everything possible. That he just told me. He was like, "Hey, man, go get on that machine." I said, "Well, there again, going to." He turned negative to the positive. He said, "Well," I said, "Well, Bob, I don't know how to run it." He said, "Well, I'm gonna show you." You know, but here it is. I have my own people that would get in front of me and wouldn't show me nothing. They rather, you know, see me on the ground or stay on the roller or stay on something.
You're a threat. You're a threat to them. To Bob, you're not a threat, bro. Your own people, you're a threat because you'll take a position that they may get or maybe offer to them. But to Bob, you're not a threat because he can always take you out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the situation. That's the reality. You know,
Right.
for us, we become crabs in a barrel because we're looking at the individual that's standing outside the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And the individual standing outside the barrel, unfortunately, in our society, we're very aware of who that individual is. So those of us that are in the barrel, hell, we trying to climb up.
Right.
So that crab in the barrel mentality has been it's been initiated by outside entities. You know, so when we talk about crabs in the barrel, we may very well be very divisive and very ununited. But why is that? And how do we change that? We change that with what we're doing right now.
True.
Right.
And if nothing else but our conversation, what that does is it exposes the reality of things.
Right.
You know? And it makes it a positive because we have to be aware of the negatives in order to create a positive situation in every situation that transpires.
Right. And that's a valid point, man. Like I said, me personally, man, like I said, I've learned. And one thing, fortunately, like I said when we were talking about me being in Florida, I haven't really faced any racism, which I'm glad because you know people like, oh, Florida is a racist place, whatever. And I've never came across it. You know, thank God that I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I haven't. You know, but like I said, I treat everybody accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I treat everybody to the point where I give everybody respect. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I think I think I'm pretty respectful, you know, to everyone. Yeah. So if a person just choose to be disrespectful, they just that's who they are as a person. You know what I'm saying? So
I think our problems lie when we have the intention to be respectful and decent in every situation. When it comes to issues of our society, racial issues, we have an intention to be decent and what have you. The problem is that there are those that feel superior that want to make sure you feel inferior.
Right.
And we have to overcome that by being decent a lot of times. Because the system is not bent for us when we do decide to become indignant. Which unfortunately the pressure is made to try and get you to act a certain way so that way when the law does come around, guess what? You know, look at the crazy black individual. So we have to try and turn that negative into a positive and act a certain way to ensure that we come home.
Yeah. Since you mentioned that though, Strick, let me ask you this question. You being in law enforcement, brother. I know you have, and I've heard this from a couple more guys that I know that were officers. When you run into a situation, when it comes to same color, I'm pretty sure you've ran into the situation where, oh, brother, you supposed to look out for me because you know, or you're a sellout because you don't look out for us. And I'm pretty sure I know you probably fell into that. Yeah, I know you ran across that a lot.
You do that a lot. You run across it a lot. But again, when I was in the uniform, my objective was to, when I put that uniform on, to represent what it's supposed to represent. Fairness, honesty, non-judgment. I've had situations where I was just involved in a situation with my ex-wife, and all of a sudden my first call was a woman running her car into a dude's car. And she mad at that, you know, and they broke up, this, that, and other. And of course, my emotions are in time because I'm like, yo, I've been through this, you know. But at the same time, I got to act responsibly. I got to do what's right as opposed to what my emotions allow me to do. You have to keep. That's why being qualified as a law enforcement officer is not as important as being capable. You have to be able to distinguish your personal emotional state from what's going on. I would tell my rookies, if you feel bad when you wake up in the morning, your girl and piss you off, or this, that, and other, this happened in your life, stay your ass at home.
But I believe that's right, Strick. I believe that works for any job, any situation.
Right, it's a mental health issue. I need you to come in when you have the ability and the authority to take someone's liberties away. I need you to come in with the right state of mind. And if you're not coming in with the right state of mind, stay your ass at home. I'm not mad at you.
Right.
You know, so yeah, you do come up against people that will say, yeah, you know, you're supposed to look out for me, this, that, especially when we work in the hood, because I worked in the hood all the time. That was my preference.
Right.
When you're around, I've been in an environment in East Texas where I walked in a place when I was working as a deputy in East Texas, and black establishment, only black people in there. I walk in and they said, I ain't know they had no black sheriffs. He said, man, there's sellouts everywhere. And I was like, yo, wow.
Yep, that's how people go.
I'm the one on the scene. Trust and believe. You want me there.
Right, exactly.
You want me there for good and bad. Also, you want me there. But what their impression was, man, they got sellouts all over this. So that was the automatic opinion of me because I walked in and I was black and I was in uniform. Now, of course, you know, you ignore that, but you recognize that there are some individuals that have a negative opinion of you that you have to turn positive, and it's just part of life.
Yeah, but you took care of that. You know, it could have turned out bad if you hadn't contained yourself in that aspect. You know what I mean?
Well, see now let's play it this way. I walk into a black establishment. I'm a white officer, and those same statements were made. How do you think he would have acted? Depending on his character, he may have turned that left.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And because power is, you know, law enforcement, unfortunately, is a power that should be regulated far more than it is.
Oh, wow.
There is, well, because you have people that are, you know, you spend 6 months in the academy, you don't know all the laws. You know, we don't know what personality this individual is just because he had a basic psychological evaluation. You know, the level of education that's required for law enforcement is far less than it is to be a barber.
Wow.
You know, takes you 2 years or a year and a half to be a cosmetologist. Takes you 6 months to be a police officer. You know,
go figure that one out. Really,
go figure that one out. And you know what? I'm gonna be real. I have a sister that's in she worked as a civilian in law enforcement, and many years ago, I remember her saying they need to require officers to have a college degree. And I was not only upset, I was like, how dare you? You know, I've been on the job, so how dare you? But in retrospect, it's not the college degree that should be needed or required. It's the psychological evaluation that needs to be consistently done time and time and time again. I do not care if it's 600 questions. That needs to be done yearly.
I would agree with you on that because you never know where you first come in for where you are after you see you had seen. It's some things that might psychologically just mess with your head.
Listen, if they can make you take a firearm exam every year on your calendar birthday to ensure that you can fire a gun, they should definitely take the same energy and ensure that you'll refuse to fire a gun because you use some common sense. So that means that you need to have a psychological evaluation every year. It's part of the deal.
Yeah, you know? I would agree with you. Yeah, I think it would stop a lot of this nonsense.
Absolutely. I can't tell you the things that I've seen on the job, bro. I can't tell you the things that I've seen and experienced. You got to know that that's going to have a detrimental effect on an individual's mental capacity.
Right.
You know, I'm in my 50s now, and here I am recognizing behaviors and things that transpired while I was in law enforcement that I thought I forgot. But guess what? I didn't. It's still there.
It still plays. It's
still playing. So these are things that we have to take in consideration when you look at the fact that officers are, you know, they're duly sworn to do a job, but at the same time, are they capable of doing the job that they're sworn to do? You know, it takes a lot. And I can talk about law enforcement forever, of course. But the thing is that as individuals that are subjected to being stopped every day, that are individuals that are being harassed every day when you go to the store and what have you, I can only tell you that you have to you have to recognize the laws in your city, recognize the municipal ordinances, recognize where you're at, because you can listen to the laws and what have you, what goes in DC, but everyday living is judged and qualified by the individuals that are in your local government, whether it be your city council members, your mayor, your even your police chief, because they're appointed by the mayor. These individuals and the district attorney, who, hey, your district attorney determines whether your people go to jail. So if you're not actively involved in that political process, you can talk about Trump and whoever you want all day long, but guess what? It's your DA that's gonna put you in jail.
Right.
DA. So recognize your environment. Be aware of who's governing your local environment, so that way you're able to not circumvent, but understand the laws that you're subjected to.
Wow. Well, look, you enlightened a lot of us on that one, man. Because I said, you know, there was some things. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, but it makes a lot of sense, though.
It does, you know. But the thing is that we get wrapped up in I'm not political. I'm not political. Well, you don't have to be political to understand that there are people that are actually determining how you will live, your quality of living is in the environment that you reside in. These are the individuals that matter to you, and those are the individuals that you should be watching. You know what's going on the news, watching what they say, how they say it. Hey, are they gonna take some books out of your kid's school? Hey, they gonna ban this? Are they gonna do this? You need to know these things, you know, on every level. And I think it's important. That's how we gather our strength. That's how we change the negative into a positive, by being aware of the situations that are around us, so that way we can propagate beneficial things towards it, as opposed to, man, I sure hate they did that. Man, I sure hate that's what happened. Man, you know we ain't getting this. Oh, man, you know what happened here? Well, all of that stuff is only happening because you ain't involved.
Right.
You gotta get involved, man.
Yeah, but you know, that just like you said, that makes a lot of sense, man, when it comes to involvement. You know, involvement plays a big part, because you're study complaining about it, but what are you doing about it? You're not doing anything.
That's how you change your negative.
Yeah.
How you change your negative. You change your negative by being aware. When you pass by your channels on your cable TV and it says local access and they got a city council member on, when you pass by it, you've ignored the negative and let the negative happen, because you don't know what's going on, brother.
Yeah.
It's
That's
there.
true. That's true.
That is true.
Boards, I mean, all of this stuff is there, and they affect your everyday living. So get involved. Be part of the solution. Now, you may not think every vote matters, but I'm telling you, brother, it matters. It matters.
Mm-hmm.
It matters. Why do you think they don't want you to vote? Why do you think they redistrict? They do these things because they're saying, hey, hold up. If these cats recognize what's negative going on, they will not do anything, which is voting, to change that negative.
Wow. Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, though, brother.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of sense. And like I said, that's where, you know, the involvement of people, you know, like I said, you see more people complain, but they don't, you know, what are you doing? Are you going, like you said, are you going to your local? Are you watching your politicians? Are you watching your councilmen? Are you watching this? You know what I'm saying? And then because they talk minute, but you know, I think a lot of them don't even hold their councilmen accountable after they in office. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I ain't trying to blow shade, but I'm gonna blow some shade. Now I'm gonna say something. Y'all gonna agree or disagree? But I've been watching this individual since they was city council member on Houston. city council. This individual's gone from a city council member to a Congress seat. I have not seen anything positive that this individual has done. But yet, even during the time when Barack was running against Hillary, that individual supported Hillary against her own constituents. So when we continue to allow people like that don't support their constituents to be part of our governing body, all we're doing is stirring the pot for the mess that we've been in. We ain't getting out of the pot. We still crabs. Because you allow an individual on namesake and name only to be present and not do things that are effective that change our community. We have to stop allowing the status quo to continue by allowing individuals that have been in government bodies and have done nothing for years. Get rid of it. Bye.
Get out of here, man. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, bye.
But there again, you know, it could go back. We could go on and on. We can go in circles about this, man. But you know, like I said, what are you willing to do? You know what I mean? And like I said, when we start talking about, I think we had a show before where we was talking about what's today's problems, what's the solution, and you just enlightened and put a second part onto that. That's the solution. But are you willing to be a part of that solution? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happens with a lot of us, man. They don't want to be the solution. You know, they don't want to be a part of the solution. You know, and I think that's in any city around. But they have those complainers. They always want to complain about everything, but they don't want to be involved. Like I told you, we have a governor. He's an idiot. I mean, excuse me, should I say that again? He's an idiot. But anyway, but true enough, would I get a vote for him? I mean, vote against him? Of course I would, because I know I don't want him in that office, man. You know, but hey, it is what it is. And you know what I'm saying? You got people that still believe. You know what I mean? Believe in what he states or what he says. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I was looking at an article today. They said now how ironically that he's running for president. He's about to run for president.
It's not ironic. He playing that shit.
And then he turned around and said, "Oh, now he's I think next month he's executing a gentleman that killed somebody back in '86 or something like '89 or something like that. I mean, the man been in jail for 34 years, but you're going to execute. Okay, it is what it is. But I mean, but it's mighty ironic. You know, we're about to come up to the election, and now you want to execute.
I mean, there's always going to be an individual that's up for execution, you know, especially as a governor. I mean, he's just a piece of trash. That's all it is. DeSantis is just a piece of trash. Mm-hmm. He really is. Unfortunately, his whole political makeup is to denounce anything that was done to equalize anything. You know, it's not about equality. This is about, he wants to stop, quote unquote, woke mentalities. I don't even understand that shit.
But okay, so Strick, with your, just by you, and then, you know, I've never talked really a lot of politics, we hadn't really talked a lot of politics, but what do you think what can we do to actually hold our officials accountable, in your opinion?
Vote.
Well, yeah, I know voting, yeah, but I'm just saying, but even, okay, so if they get in, of course, they lie.
Be vocal and vote them out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, the not all of them, but there are a majority of individuals that have been in office for too long. If you're not a crooked when you go into politics, you're crooked when you get in politics. So the day you swear in, you got to make compromises and all kinds of stuff. The best thing to do is to not let individuals stay in office forever and a day. There's no reason for an individual to be in office for 30, 40 years. You know, there's just no reason. You have to have term limitations. You have to vote people out when they're not doing a job. You have to be vocal. You have to. If you're not, then you're going to subject yourself to, look, you know, it was a perfect example. I have a video that I posted on my deal where a gentleman was talking in 1950 something. And he said, by the year 2015, the black minority will be fourth in the list. And they'll be fourth because Hispanics are coming into the country, Asians are coming, and which I'm not denying they should be, and I don't have a problem with it. But the reality is that as Hispanics have come in the country, and Asians have come in the country, the population of the Black community has diminished. So we are no longer number 2, we're number 4. If we didn't get anything as number 2, what do you think we're going to get as number 4? Well, think about it, because we're not. So the only way to change those things is to be actively involved in your government system. You can denounce it as much as you want, but if you denounce it without action, the only thing you're going to do is cause problems for yourself and everybody around you. Like I said, I can go on and on. But.
Well, you turned it. You definitely know how we turn the negative into a positive.
Because they're there though. There are positives there in the situation. The problem is that we don't want to acknowledge it, nor do we want to take action. We have to take action. You know, I remember being, when Martin Luther King's birthday, we wanted to make it a holiday. Man, I remember protesting, cutting school, and going to the protests. And being worried who's going to recognize me. And I remember one guy saying, look, if you're worried about putting your name on this little document, understand, if you're worried about where they know where you are, bro, they already know where you are. So what you want?
Right.
You have to stand up. If we don't stand up, we're going to get beat down. So
absolutely.
You have to be able, right or wrong, when I was on the job, cats didn't like me because I spoke my piece. And I didn't care whether they like me or not, because that's the way it is. If you don't have to like me, but you're gonna respect me. And if you lie, look, talk about me. I remember a dude talking about me. He didn't know I was standing behind him. But you know what I told him? I said, as long as you didn't lie about me, we good.
Right, exactly.
You can say what you want to say. As long as you ain't lying. Because if you're lying, I'm gonna say, look, you're lying.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to say, yo, Strick, man, he that dude, man, you can't do nothing in front of him. He gonna tell you, damn right. You damn right, yeah. Because I ain't gonna lie for you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie for you. And I'm not gonna let somebody be subjected to your negative behavior because of a lie either.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense, man. Like I said, I just definitely want to ask your aspects of, like just when we was talking about race and stuff of that nature, that how it felt to, with the people say, hey man, you supposed to look out for a brother and there's all of this stuff. You like you said, you came to a situation where you was a sellout because you were in law enforcement. I mean, wouldn't you want someone to protect you? I mean, that's why I say I think they need to get back to the serve and protect. I think that's what I think they have gotten away from that.
That's a lie, bro. It has never been serve and protect, bro.
Well, true. I know that. I mean,
because we weren't part of that analogy. We weren't part of that analogy of serve and protect Black people. And
okay.
I know you don't want to go there, but I'm just telling you that this is a reality.
No, Strick. I'm not saying okay, like I don't want to hear it. No, I'm like, okay, no, you're telling the truth, basically, brother. That's what I'm saying.
It's a reality. Our system, I mean, it's always been predicated on those that were less fortunate. And in our society, who's the less fortunate? The Black and brown. The laws weren't made for us. 5 to 99 in Texas. You get 5 to 99 for robbery in Texas. It's just determined on the judge. So if you go before the judge and you look like me, I might get 99. Look like my homeboy that has a couple of shades lighter than me, he'll get 5.
Wow.
But that's how the law is written.
Yeah. It's funny. They were talking about that here in Florida, man. They was talking about how you do better killing somebody than you would breaking into somebody's house. They give you just as amount of years, if not more, for doing that. Like I'm like, wow, like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they wonder why we're in our area and why. I mean, of course they do crime here, but it's just the point. Like in certain areas, you don't get that. You know what I mean? It's like no, like oh no, I ain't doing that. You hear cats that just probably do things maliciously and still wouldn't do it because they think if I get caught, I know they finna hide me for a minute, or they already been in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, man, I don't know, man. Well, look, folks, man. Look, 4:00 gonna come real early for me, man. So I just want to tell everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I appreciate everybody. Sorry we've been gone so long, but I had a lot of stuff going on. But I appreciate to see everybody coming in and showing love. Hit that like button so we can get this out here and that more positive stuff. I see. Like I said, I got to give my shout outs to Sister Leslie, Frankie and Johnny, Sexy May, Sister Casey. I appreciate you, all you ladies. I really do appreciate everybody that's coming in. And we get support from the ladies. And we, of course, my brothers in arms up here. I appreciate you guys on the panel, man, and sticking this out and being patient with me. For not coming back on, man. But hey, but we gonna keep bringing it, man. We're gonna definitely keep bringing it. And I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you, brothers. I appreciate you, ladies. So we just want to just tell everybody thank you. I enjoyed this conversation, and Strick, and I appreciate you for your expertise, brother, and all your knowledge of telling us, enlightening us on a lot of things, especially from just period and love that you shared, your experiences being in law enforcement, because I think that's a lot of people don't really get the insight of really what goes on as a person being on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? And you shared a lot of light on a lot of things, and I hope that it might have helped somebody that we can understand it and really how we can become a part of the solution, and of course turning those negatives into positives. You know what I mean? Redirecting that energy, because we definitely need to do that. But I appreciate every one of you guys, and like I said, Wednesday we would do it again, Lord's will, and we're gonna do this once again so we can keep this going and keep everything positive, man. Like I said, I appreciate you, brother Chris. Again, I appreciate you, brother Chris. It's always a pleasure, brother, for you brothers to come up here and give your insight on things, man. Because like I said, you guys, as well as what it says, circle gratitude. I'm grateful for you guys to come up here and share. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you, brothers, man. I always do, man, and I always will.
Appreciate you too, my brother.
Yeah, man. So, hey, man, but we definitely, man, we gonna come up here and if you ladies, man, if anybody in the chat, think of something that we might can speak on, definitely share it, and I can put it on my community wall. You guys can put it up there. And we can definitely talk about it. You know what I mean? I would love to hear your input on stuff too, ladies, because I know we guys and we talking up here, but I love it. And everybody to hear that's in the chat. I know you ladies definitely can bring it also, because we love to hear from you, because I ain't seen no Sister Leslie in a minute, her getting on this panel. So, we love to hear her up here. So, and then definitely Sister Casey, a Sexy May. And we need to get brother Michael back up here too, you know what I mean? Because I would love to hear from him.
Yes, brother Mike, where you at?
I don't know. Frankie and Johnny. Hey, Frankie and Johnny, was Michael asleep, or tell him Wednesday, tell him we see if he can come on up here.
Not only that, I really would like to get some of the sisters up here so we can have some true dialogue when it comes to their opinions and views.
Yeah, I would. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So ladies, if y'all not busy Wednesday, we gonna get up here and we just have an open chat, and we would love to have some of you ladies up here so that we can get up here and have some dialogue with you ladies, because it's all of us and we have our opinions as men, but we love to hear you guys. You know what I'm saying? Love to hear what you got to say. You know what I mean? I see I got a couple more new subscribers just came, that subscribe. So that's a good thing. So hopefully they can do that. Huh?
You got new subscribers. Who are the new subscribers? Let's welcome them in.
Well, like I said, it just popped up and popped back out. So I'm gonna go look at them and then I'm gonna welcome them, to the subscribing. So definitely, like I said, ladies, I want you ladies to come up here, and we would love to dialogue with you guys, because like I said, everybody here have a great intellect. We love to hear y'all views. Hey, like I said, we ain't judging nobody. It ain't like we talking about, we talking about something that's going to be judgmental or something. We just talking about great, opinions. We just talk about viewpoints. So,
hey, Sexy May, I'm expecting to see you next week on Wednesday. Now you said, okay, cool, bro.
That's big sis. That's big sis there, boy. That's big sis there, boy.
I want everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat to have a better day tomorrow than you had today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Leslie Jennings. Oh,
look,
Leslie,
I'm gonna drop that. Look
Leslie
here. Hey,
just,
before we leave, we got to hear real quick. We got to hear. Come on, sister. Come on, Sister Jenny. I want to just hear you. Come up and say a couple words. We ain't gonna be on here long. Hold on. Let me drop the chat. I want to hear from Sister Leslie right here. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there. So Sister Leslie, come up in here real quick and speak in, because I ain't heard from her. She been MIA on me, so I ain't seen it in a minute. I ain't heard from her in a minute. Oh well.
She got scared.
No, she.
I'm messing with her.
I know Leslie ain't scared by far. Oh no. Sister Casey, yeah, I mean, if you want to come up, we'd like to hear your voice too now. You know what I mean? Sexy man, oh, there she go. There she go.
Y'all funny. Good.
Hello.
Hello.
Leslie, what's going on, sister?
Hello? Okay. Sexy May's up here too?
Yes, Sexy May. Leslie's here. I see Leslie. Hey, Leslie.
How is everyone? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Leslie. Because I feel like you was just talking to me.
Okay.
I'm doing very well.
I heard your voice, and they were just talking to me. That's
okay, but and Brother Chris and Brother Shaq, I'm happy that you're having a conversation. I came into the tail end of it, and you started on some interesting topics that crossed my mind. And some of it is about the immigration. How are we going, as Black people, are going to be displaced, or how do we adjust to that, and how do we flex our muscles, because we have a lot of history in this country. And the other part is I'm so pleased that, some folks, Brother Strick shared something about the law enforcement profession. And whoever listens, I want you to understand that it took a lot for him to even be able to speak about his experience. That I respect, Brother Strick. Thank you for sharing, because
it is not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy, and it's just like folks that have gone into the military and seen combat.
Yeah.
They don't talk about some things.
Right.
And I you just put it into such, you make it seem easier than it is. And I want you to understand something. To protect and serve, in New York we did have that. And I do believe that a lot of them did do it.
Know what, Leslie? Not to interject, but I have a number of family members in NYPD, and I was going to be on NYPD, but I chose to come to Texas. There are 40,000 police officers there, and in 40,000 police officers, you're going to have some really good people, and you're going to have some really bad people, and that's what I want to acknowledge. That's what I always try and get people to realize, that there are some really good officers that have good intentions. But there's some really bad officers, like anything in the world. It's good and bad.
It just takes one, but most of it, I found that through the years that our men in blue were pretty good.
Yeah,
they were mostly, on the most part, they were pretty good, especially in the New York City area, where it is tough. And I just thank you for sharing that. The other part about the you mentioned about, I caught the tail end about the politics, and you think some people need to retire after a certain time. I don't agree with that always, in all parts, and I'll tell you why. I believe this old adage, or the saying that my mother used to tell us: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes we need to just go by the old ways. There's nothing new under the sun. Sometimes when we try to adjust and adapt, we mess up.
But let me ask you this, Leslie. When you say that, my question is that what part of the system that we have isn't broke? You know, for us, it's been broke a long time. And for many people, it's been broke a long time. And I'm not trying to just point the finger, but let's just be real. The
It's
reality
never, well, I'm of the mindset that it's never been 100%. It's
Right.
the best we have with what we know.
So if
You
it's
know.
never been 100% and it's the
Mhm.
best we have of what we know, let's just say it's 80. Can we get 81? You know, can we get a better percentage? Because obviously there are things that have been put in place that have hindered so many. So we need to get a better percentage. So I say that my idea behind term limitations is based on the fact that you have individuals like McConnell. He's 81 years old. What part of society is he truly aware of? And he's been in Senate seat for the past 40 years. He's been disconnected. Sheila Jackson Lee, another individual, been disconnected. You don't know what's going on with the real world, everyday working man, because you've been living $172,000 a year with an expense account, full insurance, you know, benefits as you choose, travel as you choose. So your disconnection from society has been exacerbated by the time that you've been in Congress. So you forgot about what it was like for a working days man. So I think it's important that we switch that around. That's why I say that.
Okay. I can give you the example of Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
Okay. All right. She's been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of respect for Nancy Pelosi.
As I
come from Baltimore, go to California, and she was the Speaker of the House.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that people need to understand with what she's doing, and I do think Mitch McConnell is doing, and a lot of the folks up there are doing, Steny Hoyer, and even my guy in South Carolina, what those folks are doing, Durbin also, they are grooming the next generation.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
That's how Hakeem Jeffries got where he was. Absolutely.
Sorry that that's my security here. My buddy.
I don't want to mess with him.
No, he's good.
Yeah, he's good for you. Let somebody else come in and see how good he is.
See, it might not turn out good for him.
Turn out good for him.
He barks. If he barks, there's a reason. Something's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He's a quiet dog.
Yeah, they bite for a reason too.
Okay.
Listen to him. You listen to him.
Trust
I don't know what you listen to, Miss Leslie, but Miss Leslie, when we hear him on this side, we say Miss Leslie is thoroughly secured.
Yeah. Relax.
Yeah, but
sorry. So when you see Nancy Pelosi, you know, there are people who Nancy Pelosi is a wealth of information about how our government works, how the Congress works. Okay. And I keep saying to people, you want to make changes, pick up that phone, go to some meetings, write a letter.
As we said earlier.
Touch them. Hakeem Jeffries didn't just get up there, you know, for nothing. No. There's folks who they watch and they see. Mm-hmm. They encourage. He hears us. He listens to us. Mm-hmm. There's another one. The one from the Virgin Islands, Plunkett.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a vote. She doesn't have a vote in Congress. That's the problem.
No. That's not a problem. Oh no. She's there. We see her. She was from the Bronx. That's your neck of the woods.
Well, the reason I say it's a problem is because you have a vested interest without a say. You know what I mean? You can say, but your statement holds no relevance because of the way they politically structured, you know, the Virgin Islands plus Puerto Rico. They actually don't have a say in anything that goes on.
Right. I'm not talking about the vote, brother. What I'm talking about when the next group comes in, who welcomes them? Okay. Cori Bush is not. Have you noticed her change? From Missouri, Cori Bush?
No.
The black sister?
No, I hadn't.
From Missouri. Oh, you got to watch her now. You know, when she came in, she had her braids and everything. And she was, you know, she's very much of an activist. She
I
was
agree.
part of that squad. She joined the squad, Ilhan Omar and all the rest of them. And she came in and she slept on the Capitol streets, the sidewalk to join in with the homelessness. She slept in a tent there in Washington until Congress addressed the issue about homelessness. What I'm saying is that when she came into Congress, who was it? Marjorie Taylor Greene was flexing her muscle and making her feel uncomfortable.
She's an imbecile.
Okay, for whatever reason, but Cori Bush was welcomed in by Black and white, and she was made to feel comfortable to benefit the rest of us, the constituents.
Right.
Because even though she's from Missouri, she speaks for me too.
Right.
So what I see happening with this the next generation is one is holding out the hand to the next one. We got what's her name, Maxine Waters. You don't think, of course, she's grooming. Jackson in Texas, she's grooming people. Who's ready? Who's willing to take? Because it's not an easy job what they do. It's not an easy job. So I think that as long, I think that what Nancy Pelosi did was, not only did she step back, but she left someone to come up. She left the next one. I think Hakeem Jeffries, wonderful choice.
Yeah, she definitely picked a good one.
Sometimes, I think, Strick, you sound like the type of person that before you retired, I'm sure you mentored people. You mentored some young men, women, maybe, didn't you?
A few.
And they have this, and they cut their eye teeth in the profession from you and your wisdom. That's what I think when Brother Shaq started this channel, he says, how can we help the youth? That's how to help the youth.
Right.
To see how it was a smooth change from Hakeem Jeffries, from Nancy Pelosi to Hakeem Jeffries, for example. Why? Because they reached back, they helped to inform and educate and train the next generation.
Yeah, well, we see the training that the Republicans are getting.
Well, not all Republicans are bad now.
No.
I used to like me some Boehner.
Yeah, I would never say that all Republicans are bad, because there are a number of Republicans that have a vested, view when it comes to how they think.
Right. So I don't. The one thing that I wish we could try to find answers, and that's on my mind. Immigration is an issue.
Why?
I kind of.
Why do you say immigration?
For the black.
I ain't hear the call start.
We can't. We don't need to hear you. We talking, Shaq. Why do you think immigration?
Are you cutting onions? You cutting onions? I was just doing my onions before I sat down here.
No. I was seeing Erica off. That's all.
Did you kiss her goodbye at least?
Why do you say immigration is a problem?
I think immigration is a problem because what's happening at the border, and I think Republicans have a lot to do with it. Because I remember when Trump, before when he was first running, he said, "Oh, there's a caravan coming," and I'm wondering if that wasn't for publicity or to just get started building that wall. And where's the money from the wall that was built, or the fencing that was put up, even though you can dig underneath it, to still transport, bring in the drugs and whatever is going on. But the immigration is a problem because folks who are coming in, if you notice, and you Shaq are down in Florida.
I'm in Texas.
DeSantis is the type of person, he doesn't want the Black history to be continued in schools.
In schools, right? Yeah.
Nobody needs to talk about it. but you're letting in the new Americans. So their culture is being recognized, their parades are being held, and their parties are being and if you go to certain cities, everybody's recognized for that culture. But what about brother man, sister? So
that's what we
what
were
about
talking
us?
earlier. How we wound up being the fourth, not the second minority anymore. Now we're the fourth in regards to minorities. And if we didn't get anything as being the second, what we gonna get is the fourth, because the population has changed.
Right. So the population might be changing, but we're still here.
Yeah.
We're still reproducing. And I don't know about you folks, but I still tell the stories, and I think you guys tell the stories here too. So immigration is a problem because people are going to come with the mindset that African Americans are the last man on the totem pole, but I beg to differ. They better wake up, because that would be a problem for America.
The only reason why I have an opposition to it is because immigration has always been consistent in the United States. We've always had people come here. They've never stopped. They come from Europe. They come from South America. The only ones that they seem to be questioning are those that come from South America. I don't hear about anything border going on from Canada, or from the airports, to be honest with you. They're always. Go ahead.
So what about my folks on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean?
What about them?
Africa.
Yeah, like I said, those that are coming in, they're only concerned about those that are coming in from the southern border. Most Africans that come into the United States are not coming from, Canada. They're coming from southern borders, those that are illegal. But I don't concern myself with the illegal Africans or Haitians, because they are more concerned with them than they are concerned with anyone else. They will definitely stop a boat coming from Haiti or stop a boat coming from Cuba, but they sure don't stop nothing coming from the north of us. So that's the fear that politicians put into people's lives in regards to, we have to protect our borders. We have to protect our borders. But the crimes that are occurring aren't necessarily coming from the illegal aliens that are coming here. They're crimes that are occurring from people that are here. I
don't know, brother. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Hold on. What I see when you have people, all right, I keep thinking of national security breaches.
Right.
I don't know who these people are.
Right.
I don't know if they're crazy, if they're not crazy, if they're bringing some weird stuff, whatever. I don't know if they're good, bad. Otherwise,
Agreed.
But they're coming in. They pretend. Some speak English. Some act like they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you think that those?
So you wonder why people don't say good morning. What are they hiding? I know
maybe they're hiding the fact that they're here illegally.
No, I know. I know all over the place. That's one thing, but I keep thinking of national security. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you a story. I had a friend.
Hey, excuse me, Liz. I ain't gonna cut you off. Can I cut you off for just a second? But can I just say this one thing? Because y'all are really on mobile. I'm really kind of. That's not on me. I don't.
So listen,
I just want to. I'm gonna say one thing.
No, I will say, but when you start talking about the one thing I can say about that part, about when you're saying the crimes are happening, when Strick said the crimes are happening, I'm looking at all the mass shootings here happening in America. There are no foreigners that's involved in those mass shootings.
Yeah, there's a few, but I mean, the thing is that we have mass shootings every day.
What? Okay, but why? Why? They're mass shootings because people are being ignored. People are not given, they feel cheated, like you say, fourth-class citizens. People are being...
Is it the proliferation of guns in the United States?
Where they coming from?
I mean, we got 350 to 400 million guns and 300 million people.
But where are they coming from?
Not from Africa.
Like, where are the drugs coming from? Where the drugs coming from, brother?
Not from Africa.
Not from out of the country. Where are they coming from?
But what I'm saying is that they're not produced by us.
Right.
You know.
So who's bringing it in?
You know, I can say that I don't know who's bringing it in, but I know who's in charge of getting things in.
So what my point is,
Here's a perfect example, Leslie. Before you go continue, let me give you this perfect example. In Houston, we have the Port of Houston. All right, it is one of the largest ports in the world. Okay. Do you know they have what they call a no contact rule in the Port of Houston? You will never hear about drugs being confiscated in the Port of Houston. Is that because there are no drugs coming in through the Port of Houston and it's one of the largest ports in the world? No. It's because of the way they have structured the system.
I don't understand what that means.
Well, what I'm saying to you is that we have a port down in Houston that comes from people come from all over the world. But they have a rule that they do not confiscate drugs in the Port of Houston because it makes the Port of Houston look bad. So,
you know what?
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? That's a rule. Now you think about it. If you look in your own, you could do it your own research. And you say, when has there been drugs confiscated in the Port of Houston? And you will find, if there's one, I'd be surprised. Now this is years and years. Now why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
Why is that? You see what I'm saying? So when you say that you know, yeah, things are happening, yes, this, that, and other, but who is in ultimate control of the situation? And even if it's not being brought in by them, if you're allowing it, you are complicit. You're complicit. And the individuals that are complicit in our society, unfortunately, you know, well, do I have to say who they are?
No, but I do know that if you down in Texas and that Mr. Abbott sent up a whole bunch of a busload, to the city of New York, for what reason? So that the black mayor of New York City couldn't properly run the city.
Well, you know what? I don't think it's because of that. I think it's because they wanted to turn around and now agree or disagree. They wanted to show the plight. I don't think it's an agreeable thing to do. I think it's foolish to do. But at the same time, what did it cause? It caused national uproar about the immigration issue on the southern border. Not on the northern border, but on the southern border. And that's what it was meant to do. It's deplorable. Make no mistake about it. It's horrible. But at the same time, this is the political game that they're playing. So how do we circumvent that? We circumvent that by getting out there and voting. We have to. And hope that it has a positive effect. And if that doesn't work, then we go to different issues. But right now, voting is the way we need to do things. We got to get people out there.
Then people have to start voicing their opinion about it, because it's some of it kind of. I just think that something's missing.
Oh, absolutely.
Something's missing where we're skipping a beat somewhere. People are not talking about, because that you don't want to offend someone. That's why maybe people aren't speaking about what it is. I have no problems with people from other countries. That's not my issue. My issue is when you treat them as we had a term in our household, they're exotic. So those people will be given a job before you. Why don't and that's just because they're exotic. That's need I say more?
Exotic mean they ain't black.
Well, yeah, that's right.
That's what it means. You're exotic. You may be black, but you're not black. You're exotic.
Yeah, and I just I find you just you're not like the others. You
talk better, huh?
Well, yeah, and not only that, because see, a person like me, if you look at me, I will remind you of what your grandparents did to my family. Okay, whereas another person, you got a chance to be nice, to be the bleeding heart liberal.
Wait, say that again. You said it by you look at me, you what? You remind you.
You'll be reminded what your great grandparents did to my great grandparents.
Why you say that?
Because I remember my Black history. There was slavery in my roots. Where when you get to somebody who's from another country that speaks with an accent, you're not reminded of that.
Right. Okay, I get you.
So that's a safer bet.
Right.
And you feel proud of yourself because you learn a new language. You learn, yeah. I mean, there was a time when we were growing up, even though you learned another language at school, my father forbade us for even practicing that language in the dinner table.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, you couldn't do that.
Really? I've heard Spanish people say that they were taught not to speak Spanish in the house because they wanted to ensure that they were Americanized. I've heard that before.
Wow. Well, yeah, and like some of my friends, they made sure their children studied, and spoke the language, the Spanish language, the French language, or the African language, or the whatever language they spoke at home. But they were stuck in those books to speak English.
Yeah, I'm talking about those that didn't want their kids speaking Spanish at home.
Oh, I never heard that.
Yes. Speak English. Because they wanted them to assimilate. Yes, they wanted them to assimilate. I know Spanish people who don't speak Spanish at all because their parents didn't speak Spanish around them because they didn't want them to learn Spanish. They wanted them to speak English.
Wow. I had some friends, like when we grew up, one of my friends, a couple of friends, the parents spoke Italian. So the parents took the children all around everywhere, because they translated.
Right.
The parents never lived the rest of their lives and died here, never spoke English.
Yeah.
Spoke Italian, but the children had to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Might
have got to translate.
Another thing, and I did contact people. There's a thing where you ever notice when you go to some places they have, let's say if you're in a hospital or some place where they have to call out a number, they say it in English and they say it in Spanish. They say it in English and they say it in Spanish. And if you press 1 if you want English, and they continue, para continuar en español, you have to, they say press 2 if you wanted to continue in Spanish or whatever, right? I'm one of the people that says, listen, what I'm here for is in English. My people speak French. My people, the other people over there speak Chinese. Why do you only have it in Spanish and English? Guess what? They changed. In certain places. They used to do that in federal buildings,
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys got me on a tangent here, but I think this is
you're good. You're good. There ain't no tangent.
Ain't no judgment zone up in here, Glenn. You should know that.
Thank you, because I remember when I was I was around my friends who spoke Spanish, and I used to have one girlfriend. She used to translate for me when the girls got together. They were all speaking Spanish from different countries, Spanish-speaking country. So I said, "Oh, what did they say?" And then finally, she said to me, "Leslie, you're gonna have to learn Spanish."
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing she should have told me, because now I can hear something. I studied.
Well, since you guys were saying that, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Liz, but I just had to ask this. So, what do you think about when you apply for some jobs and they tell you must be bilingual or preferable?
I did that happen, and I reported that when I saw that, because they needed volunteers, and I wanted to volunteer, but you had to speak Spanish.
Hey, but what's wrong with it if most of your employees are Spanish? Wouldn't it be more helpful if you asked them?
No, they're not. Why are they mostly Spanish?
Because they're cheaper labor.
Why? That's not, and that's
just a document. I'm just talking about reality. It's not. I mean, that's what
right.
it is.
So the problem I have. Okay, so do you have people from another country? They come, everything's cool. By the time they finish working and retire, where do they go? Where's the money spent?
Back to their country.
Yeah. What options do we have?
I just thought that might have been a viable See, I was just curious about that because I've heard people have a problem with that by saying, but then I think if you're judged on you're not getting a job due to you're not being bilingual. I mean, I think that wouldn't that be kind of be being sort of discrimination?
I don't think so because
I think so.
I mean,
if you're
in
working,
my opinion, that's why I was asking because you're telling me I'm qualified to the job, but because I don't speak a certain language, another language, I can't get a job. Or
And the laws, right? And the laws are in English.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's why I was saying. I mean, I don't have anything against people that come in from the country because, of course, yeah, well, true, I don't have no problem with it. But my thing of it is my problem I have with is so if I'm qualified for a job, and it might be a job of my choice, or I want, or I've degreed in and everything, but you telling me I'm disqualified due to not knowing another language.
Right. So I agree with what you're saying. Why should we be disqualified? My thing is hire an interpreter. Somebody else can have that job. Someone that we could trust, so you can maintain the national security. That's how I feel. I find if you have people speaking other languages and living in America, and we really don't know who your great grandparents are. For example, like I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, and I'll tell you why. How am I supposed to elect somebody?
But hey, hold on, man. You must an immigrant. Why?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, you ain't gonna roll a whole list out, are you?
No. But the main reason why is, you mean to tell me there was a war, and your grandfather left the country so he can avoid fighting in the war to defend the country? Any man that doesn't defend his own land, you can't be my president. A bunch of cowards. That's one of the reasons. If I'm saying that kind of like in a nutshell.
Something that I found was very interesting when I first started Metro Strip, that when I found this out, because they had a lot of guys that was from Vietnam that was at Metro. A lot of the mechanics, the AC techs, and a lot of stuff. Well, anyway, a lot of those guys couldn't speak English. Did you know that they were able to? Now, if I was illiterate, could not fill out an application, I couldn't get the job. But because they were foreign dignitaries, they was different from different country. They can have an interpreter to interpret the actual application, and as long as they were qualified, they can get the job. Now, I thought that was pretty. I thought that was hard.
Same thing with the driver's license, bro. You come in from a foreign country and get a driver's license, don't know how to read the words.
Thank you.
What they've done is they've utilized our freedoms against us.
Exactly. They take a. My thing is, how the heck are you going to be a citizen of the United States of America? You can't even speak English.
Well, you can be a citizen without speaking English, but you gotta.
No, dear. No. You better pass that test.
Yeah, be like Switzerland. Make them learn the language.
Exactly.
But then if we go to another, but we have to know, like if we want to go to Australia or France or whatever, we have to know their laws and everything, and we have to understand their laws. But here was another thing, and I'm gonna tell you, I saw this firsthand with my mom. When my mom first applied for Social Security for disability, they denied her like 3 times. Now here it is. I saw a Chinese woman, literally a Chinese woman, and I don't have anything against Asian people at all. Trust me, I don't. But they gave her and she hadn't worked a day in this country.
That's right.
Now that's a big problem. That's a major problem.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like, how do you get Social Security and assistance and all this other stuff when you haven't worked a day in the United States?
Thank you. It's because she's a citizen. She's a citizen, and there are other things going on which I can understand. But my thing is, don't ignore us, because our money went into it. I had relatives who, when they stopped working, they didn't have Social Security because they never put into it. You know, when people do jackleg work and they figured that they're coming home with more money. At that time, there was no law to tell you, your boss to put aside Social Security for you. So you had to, continue to work. I also see immigrants who come in with fake identification. So you got some people who are older than they are, and they can't retire, can't get Social Security because they have to work 10 years, like till they're 70 actually. But on their papers, they're almost reaching 60, for example, or vice versa. It depends because they want to get in on the immigration thing.
Well, like I said, me personally, like I said, I don't have anything about people for. I mean, because like I said, it's a land of the free. Like you said, but they like Strick said that they use our freedoms against us. And I would agree with that 100% because, I mean, my thing of it is if you turn around and tell me that a person can come over here and do that, and here I am, I've been a citizen, I was born here, I was raised here, I worked, put my blood, sweat, and tears here, and then you telling me you're going to deny me? It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Right, and your relatives fought in the war. And I'm a big thing about that because I have relatives who were in the military, okay? They saw combat in the wars. They buried here. Now, let me ask you, gentlemen, this question. This is one of my pet peeves, and I think this is how Brother Strick and I started speaking in our earlier conversations. What do you think about? Is it true that there are no people who want to farm or do agriculture, that we have to import workers, seasonal workers?
They
come to get.
I know one thing. I can't recall anybody I grew up with when I was growing up said, I want to be a farmer.
Yeah, I mean, either. I mean, I guess it's something that wasn't taught at that time. I'm assuming. I mean,
wait a minute. You mean to tell me you never planted, something in the backyard if you had a backyard?
No, what I'm saying is that I don't know nobody I grew up that said they want to be a farmer. In other words, agriculture is not one of those, it's a demanding job, number one. And I just don't know anybody that said this is what I want to do, outside of those individuals that were doing it because that was their family lineage.
And the funny thing you said that though, Leslie, because actually when I was in school, they had agricultural in school, but
in the Bronx,
honestly, the only ones that I seen that were mostly in the class was Caucasian people. We got into homemaking, we got into auto mechanics, we got into certain little things like wood shop, but as far as when I was in school, the agricultural part of it, yeah, it was mostly Caucasian.
There used to be agricultural programs in the high schools. Some schools were made on that, especially in the Queens area. There's still a farms. So
y'all had that in the Queens?
Yeah. You had that in the Bronx. You were in the Bronx.
So let me give you a little hit. I went to Evander Childs High School in the Bronx on Gun Hill Road. We ain't had. Okay.
You had farms up there.
We ain't had no farms at Bronx.
You had horse farms in Evander
Childs. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, but you had horse stables up in the Bronx.
Yeah, we got horse stables on Pelham Parkway. You're right.
I used to ride over there.
Where the white people are. I already know.
Okay.
Yep, where the white people are. Absolutely. And now I rode horses in the country because I was exposed to different stuff. Hell, I'm from the Bronx. I ice skate. I played hockey. I downhill ski. There are things that they're like, you from the Bronx? You know how to skate? Yeah.
Yeah.
There were things that we did that we were exposed to if our parents exposed us to it.
Right.
We had Bear Mountain, so we went
exactly.
Up, but
I sledded in Chicago.
Yeah, we did that too. We sled. Shoot, I lived on the top of a hill. I didn't know nothing about flooding when we had different cultures. Flood, what flood? What you mean? Right. There's a flood downtown. So why is the bus not running? I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to get y'all stuff together because we got a different infrastructure, you know?
Right.
Yeah, man.
So that was my, those are my questions. Like, don't tell me that there's nobody that doesn't want to touch that land and grow something. Okay, I happen to know that they are. If you look now, Brother Strick, what's going on in the Bronx area, for example, they have farms. They call them urban farming. They're making a business out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about? We just play a vacant lot. They could have done that with the South Bronx, just convert it into that. Back in the day,
I know myself. I mean, even though it would be viable to do it, but I don't think. I mean, me personally, being a farmer,
I plan on putting a garden in my backyard, so I understand what you're saying. It's just
exactly.
If you're not exposed to it, you're not going to do it.
You have all the sunshine down there, Brother Shaq. I'm gonna give you an example. Do you know scallions? If you cook, scallions, right?
Don't have. I've heard of them.
Scallions.
I didn't even. I thought. You know what I thought? I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm just gonna be truthful. Just like your black and orange beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
Rice.
Rice. Yeah, rice. Yeah, that's what it was. I thought scallion was a seafood, so I let you know how much I knew.
Well, okay. For example, all right, you get You know what I'm talking about, Brother Strick?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you get your scallions, right? You cut the tops off and everything. What do you do with the bottom? You put that in some dirt. Watch those suckers grow.
Watch them grow.
Why are you still going to the store to buy them? Well, what about the sweet potato you got? What about the onions? I'm checking this out. I'm like, you're right. Why am I going? Matter of fact, you know what I learned the other day? And this is something that you guys, I learned how to make butter.
Oh, really? So you started turning some heavy cream.
No, you just get your little, you get a whip, whip the buttermilk, the fatty buttermilk over 40% fat buttermilk, and you make sure it's cold. The buttermilk is cold. The container is, whatever you have it in is cold, and you just keep whipping it until the liquid comes out of the butter, and you see it turning yellow. That's the butter, and you squeeze it out, shape it. That's your butter.
That's
I just saw it on. I just watched a video just yesterday, and I'm saying to myself, "Are you serious? There's a way to make cheese. I want to make yogurt. I like yogurt.
We did all that.
I know I learned how to make mayonnaise.
Oh. Yeah, I ain't no mayonnaise fan. But
I am.
But
I am too, Leslie. So don't feel bad.
Right. You could make mayonnaise. I was there. I was visiting someone. It's overseas, and they were making a big spread. It was a celebration. So I was in the kitchen with the women folks. So I was with my mother at that time. And my mother said, watch to see how she makes mayonnaise, because that's the way my mother was telling me that's how her grandmother used to make it back, from the Carolinas. You take the yolks, you put it, just take the white out, but you take, and then you separate the egg, the white from the yolk, put the oil in there, and you just keep beating it.
You're churning.
There you go. And you got your mayonnaise. You could season it. You could flavor it. You could add whatever to it. Come on now, people.
I'm really old. All the stuff you're telling me, I already done and know. So
right, but you know how much we're spending in the store?
So you're trying to say so basically you're saying surviving from the land. Is that basically what you're saying?
Exactly, and you're healthier. So
yeah, but how many people black people hunt?
That hunt?
Yeah.
Nowadays, I can't say I know too many now, but I did. Actually, let me. I don't know if it's still does.
How many of us can skin a deer?
I was going to say venison. The only thing I didn't like about the venison, the buckshot.
Same thing.
Yeah, I didn't like the buckshot. I got chewed a buckshot one time.
When you said buckshot. She was like the buckshot from the gun. Yeah, I got
That's
you.
right. I got the prize.
The buckshot.
What's that?
Like from the you know how the from the gun. Like
Yeah, the pellet that they killed it with.
Oh, it was killed with a pellet gun, is what you're saying.
No, it was like a shotgun or something.
Yeah, with 32 caliber rounds in it.
Right.
Shotgun, yeah. But I'm saying that how many people you know that are black can skin a deer, cure a deer, and prepare it for a year's food or 6 months food. We don't do that. I mean, there's some of us that do. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of guys that do. I'm not saying all black people. Make sure I'm not saying it. I'm talking about the majority of those individuals that are from where we're from in New York, bro. I mean, we got big deer. We don't know how to hunt because we don't do a lot of hunting. There's some of us that do.
Right.
But ultimately we better forage and grow some stuff because when it comes to, survivability, we're lost with the system because we're waiting for stuff to be at the grocery store. Right.
Yeah, I think that if we when you tend the land, you have a respect for the land. When you hunt, you have respect for the animal that you hunt and eat.
I don't.
No, you do.
I don't even see. I see people killing the animal on like, what is that? Naked and Afraid, and they do that. I want to bless this animal. Man, look. You know what you want to do? You want to eat. Don't bless me after you kill me. Okay.
No, but brother, that's what makes it kosher. That's what makes it halal. You bless it.
I guess.
Every animal has a soul.
Yeah, true enough. But when you're eating it, I don't know about the whole blessing part.
Well, I mean, you're gonna bless the food. Now, come on now.
I'm speaking from just a purely spiritual sense. When you're talking about taking a life, and blessing it.
But that's what we're supposed to do because the Bible allows us to do it. That's the purpose.
Oh, see, now we go to a different point here.
I say the Bible, but the Holy Quran also.
Well, that's what whatever religious deity says. But my thing is that I'm thinking about just truly on one sense. How can you take a life and bless a life while you're taking it?
It's not blessing the life. You're thanking the good Lord, the Creator, for providing. God bless this food which we're about to receive from thy bounty to Christ our Lord. Amen.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, and same, you bless it. Thank you. You don't want to come home. Imagine, going in, not bringing anything to feed your children.
I only say that because I know that in the big part of the scheme of religious concept, thou shalt not kill does not say thou shalt not kill humans. Thou shalt not kill. It says thou shalt not kill. Period. It doesn't say.
My brother, don't even try it. Don't even.
I'm just saying, though. I don't want to get cut. No, I don't want to get cut.
No. You're gonna get spanked. Stop that. You ain't.
Am I lying? Am I lying? Does it say?
I mean,
thou shalt not kill.
I understand where you coming from, Strick.
I'm just asking. I'm not, like I said. I'm just asking. Does it say thou shalt not kill?
Where did that commandment come from? Where did it come from?
I got you, but we can't.
Wait.
We can't get a question with a question.
What is
I asked one question. Does it say thou shalt not kill? Huh?
What is the first commandment? And you should have your answer. I am the Lord.
I'm not talking about the first commandment. I'm talking about the one that says thou shalt not kill. That's the one I'm talking about.
Who was the commandment meant for?
No, does it say anything different other than thou shalt not kill?
I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have strange gods before me.
No. I'm not trying to dispute the religious concept. That's not what I'm doing. I'm simply saying, if it says thou shalt not kill, do we live by that penance or not? Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Are you talking about animals?
I'm talking. Well, are we an animal?
No, we are.
Wait. Remember, we were perceived as less than human. and were killed on a regular basis because we were not considered to be human, right? Now, I'm saying...
Wait. Who's saying... Wait. You lost me. You lost me.
How'd I lose you?
We're not considered human by whom?
When were we considered human? When we were allowed to vote, or when they released us from slavery?
I thought we were talking about the commandments at the time of Moses.
Well, because it ties in. It ties in because the religious concept came from an individual who didn't believe you to be human. They didn't. No. Well, let's be real.
I'm gonna tell you that's
that we get our religious concept from in the United States. Those that perceived and predicted and created the concept did not consider you, I, Shaq, or anyone else that is of color to be human. So the rules and the guidelines that came from that book and that deity was not considered for you.
But do you think that the word of God came from America? Is that what you're saying to me?
I'm not talking about America. Because in Sierra Leone, when the bishop swore and blessed the slaves before they went in the bottom of the bows of ships, that was the Christianity that came from the Vatican. So I'm not talking about just America. I'm talking about how it's perceived in totality. The religion itself, or the faith itself, or any faith, when you put a category or a group of people in the category of less than human, you're not considering them when you write your vows and your religious entities. You're not considering them to be part of that. So when we go back and say, what the Bible says, well, when the Bible was written and when it was conceived of, they didn't consider you to be part of that group.
What does God say?
No, I don't know what he says.
Yes,
but
you
I
do.
Know.
Yes, you do.
No, wait a second, Miss Leslie. I do know that the individuals that have been giving you this regurgitation of the Aramaic view of the Bible are giving you this regurgitation based on what they want you to follow. And that is fact. That's why the Roman Catholics took certain books out of the Bible when they were putting it together. That's why they decided to conceal certain things, because we need to, and I'm not diminishing the Christian faith, and I don't want anybody to believe that, because I am a believer in God. But what I do not believe in is the corralling of individuals in any specific group to say, this is who we are, when we are all human, whether it be Christianity, Judaism, Muslim, whatever. I don't have a specific group that I cater to. But what happens is that when a group has totally said, listen, this is your rule to follow. This is the following that you follow your masters, but yet you are not part of us. Is that a faith? Is that a faith? You're not part of us because you're not actually human, but follow us because that's what happened. So I'm not trying to demoralize the faith or anything. I'm just saying that look at it for what it is and what it has been. You cannot say that this is coming from a true, genuine space when you didn't consider me to be equal. Because what was written years ago, and you're still following it, but you didn't consider me to be equal then, and you damn sure haven't demonstrated me to be equal now. That's why.
Okay, all I say is I don't serve two masters. When somebody calls me, what do they call me by? Okay? I answer to the one true God. That's it. Now, if somebody says they consider me less than a human, that's on them. That's something they have to do. But is it God or is it your
faith, though? My question is: it
Sorry?
God or is it your faith?
Is that a what?
Is it your respect for God or is it your respect for your faith? Because your faith tells you how to follow God. My question is it your respect for God or is it a respect for your faith that tells you?
It's always God. It's always God,
right? So that means that no Bible, no book, no person, no anything can tell you anything that God can't tell you, right? Not saying that you shouldn't follow it. I'm just saying that if God gives you that divine intervention and in spirit and wellness to follow a path, that's God telling you. And the Bible telling you it's God, right?
So where does the Bible tell us about being less than human?
No. I didn't say that the Bible tells you that you're less than human. What I'm saying that those that presented the Bible to you did not consider you to be human. You were not considered to be human when they were preaching the Bible to you or our ancestors back in the day. They were telling you what God wanted you to do as as to be a servant to them, to be a servant to the humans is what you needed to be. Just like the animals, you were service in it. We ate the cattle and we worked the Negroes. You weren't cattle. You were chattel.
The beauty of the Holy Quran, and if you have a chance, maybe you might want to.
Before
is that all those things that you're asking and you're suggesting, and you have questions about, are answered. You can take every Bible, every Torah, every Holy Quran, put them in the ocean, destroy them, burn them, whatever you want to do. But I guarantee you that in 2 days, the Holy Quran will be written again, but the others won't, because it's been consistent.
You know why? You know why that would happen? You know what? Wait a second. Let me say it correct. I want to make sure I say it correctly. It's called Isam Iqbal. Isaac Iqbal. An individual can repeat the Quran for word.
I said it will be written. It will be written.
I know, but an imam can repeat the Bible.
No, not every. No. You're talking about a hafiz. They're young children.
Hafiz Iqbal, right?
The hafiz, they will write it again.
Right.
And it's word for word.
Right.
It's exact.
Iqbal, you're right. Correct.
It's exact. Right. It's exact. What I'm saying is that there is peace, there is beauty, there is everything that you're asking a question about is there.
But you know what? That's based on faith, Miss Leslie. That's based on a faith.
It is what. So what is?
Yeah, puzzled, right?
Have you ever been afraid of anything?
Absolutely.
Okay. When you have fear, you don't have faith. Faith, or let me put it another way, faith does not exist. You lose fear as long as you have faith. So when you tell me about someone considering me less than a human, does that matter to me when I know better, when I know God? No.
Yeah, but
does it?
That's not my dispute, though. I agree with you. It's not my dispute at all.
So when you talk about the atrocities that were put upon us, I don't even think about them.
Why is that?
They're not important. It's moving forward.
Do you think the atrocities have stopped?
No.
There's different measures of atrocities.
To whom? Myself?
Yes, absolutely. You own a home? Do you own a home?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so if you own a home, you decided to sell your home tomorrow, and they decided to give you an estimate on what your house was worth. Because you're a Black woman, you know what your house is going to be worth? It's going to be worth 20% to 30% less than the white person that might have lived in that house prior to or after. There are different atrocities that we're subjected to, whether it be in bondage or financially or emotionally or scarred, believing that just because you're dark-skinned, you're going to be the bad guy that people are going to meet up in the alley. If that's projected to you, there are atrocities that continue on. Those atrocities that happened years ago may have been to a different and deeper extent. But the reality is those atrocities, the atrocities that are transpiring now, have an everyday effect on our lives. And I'm not saying it because I think, whoa, America's a horrible place. Whoa, white people are horrible. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there is a system in place that has been consistently neglecting the people that they should be providing for, and then say we are equal. You are not providing for those that are equal when you do not give them equal opportunity, whether it be school, whether it be work, whether it be what have you. The atrocities continue is my point.
Now, all that you said is about this life. I don't think that way, brother.
You don't think this way about what? This life?
Okay. Lately we've had disasters. We just had a disaster where there was flooding in Florida.
Yes.
You saw the building in Florida fall down. You saw the electricity out in Texas. Okay. Yes. And you saw the flooding in New York, even if you want.
Yes.
Okay. People lost their homes.
Yes.
People lost their lives.
People out of flood watch right now in New York. I understand.
Right. Yes. Do you really think that amounts to a hill of beans? It doesn't.
No, but the point is that
What's the atrocity?
There are natural catastrophes that happen. Look, the tsunami killed 120,000 people. I mean, there are natural catastrophes that happen daily. And that's, I mean, it's a reality of life. What I'm talking about is man-implemented atrocities, things that have held people back, things that continue to stifle our community. When you have made the system to the point where an individual doesn't want to go outside because they're afraid of what may happen or what may come in contact with them. Those are bad things that happen to Black men daily when they've been affected by certain things of society. And then all of a sudden, look, you don't want to interact the way you used to because of the way society is in place. It's not to say that we can't overcome it. We can overcome anything. But the thing is that when there are situations that are implemented in your everyday activity to hold you back, you can't just say that these things aren't in place because the world is fair. No, we know the world isn't fair. We live it. We have to acknowledge it and then find ways to overcome and keep going. But we can't overcome it by saying, that's really not that bad or not that important because, it happened back then. But what's happening now that is the consequence of what transpired back then? That's the thing that we have to continue to try and fight. Look, there's positives in everything. I just think that, if we ignore the negatives, those things will continue to grow from molehills to mountains, and we can't ignore it by, not you specifically, but I'm just saying in general, we can't ignore it by looking forward and not acknowledging the past. Because, when the past comes back up, because it always does, the past is coming up now when they're rescinding Roe versus Wade, when they're, trying to get, what is it, critical, whatever it is, race, that's nonsense because it's not in schools anyway. Yeah, it's not even in schools now. So I don't even understand, but they've used this platform to scare people and keep this, anything but Black concept going on. Because that's the big fear. The big fear is Black people everywhere in the world, no matter where you go. They still think that we're this horrible group of individuals. Why? Not because of Africa, baby. It's because of the United States. They've continued to project this idea that Black men and women have a certain negative connotation. Black women are sassy, have an attitude, can't be worked with, can't be dealt with, or are just erotic, or this or that. Black men are hostile. We can't do with anything but deal with our hands when it comes to our emotions. Those things are not true. But that's what they personified all over the world. And that's why people look at us the way they do. I think it's,
I think that you might need to take a cultural adventure.
Okay. Where to? I've been a few places, but go ahead.
There's some places in Africa where you could just go and just chill. Put your shades on.
No. Wait a second. I didn't mean to think that. I don't want you to think I was diminishing Africa because there are a lot of industrial nations within Africa that are promising.
I'm not talking about industry. No. See.
No, I said industrial nations. Industrial nations. I didn't say
right. I mean, you might want to go to places where you have to just go and not speak the language or just watch the people. I've been in a situation where I have to swallow my ego where I could, you and I, we could speak in English together. We can have good conversation, but there are times when I'm a woman, I have to learn, just be quiet, watch, observe, go with the flow. And the life is so much easier, so much simpler, so blessed because I like I tell you, I know it's, I just keep striving.
Especially if you got a hijab on, though.
No, I didn't say I had a hijab on.
No, I said it's so much easier, so much pleasant when you don't have to be bothered with anything because everybody's doing everything for you. I'm not saying that's what happens if you got a hijab. I'm saying that the disparity between an individual who is in that type of culture having to wear a hijab and say, I'm a woman, let me step back. I was being sarcastic. because
no, you're being sarcastic, but honestly, when you feel funny when you don't wear your head covered, and not every culture, where that's Muslim, or country, do you wear a hijab?
Right.
You
Right.
wear something else on your
Yeah,
head.
but
You
it
know,
was
I
an
love
analogy. I
wearing
was
them.
basically saying that an individual who feels like they don't have to or they're not expected to, it's because they don't want them to. And I was using a hijab as saying that in most Muslim nations, women are limited to sometimes can't even drive. That to me,
Because you're not out you're not out without a male escort.
right? But the thing is to me, that's not
That
equality.
makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not equality though.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
You think it's equality that a woman cannot drive in like Saudi Arabia?
It's not about the driving part. That's the least of my worries.
Right.
You'll have a driver. You'll have somebody doing this, that.
What if
and
you
that.
don't though?
But I would rather. I would rather do woman's things.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that is it equal? Is what I'm saying.
It's not about being equal because.
Huh?
Let me say something. There are certain. A woman does not wear her hijab in front of her family, her brothers, her uncles, in her home.
Yeah, only
because she's relaxed. But the thing of it is that there's freedom. There's freedom in that. It's more like family is important.
You're saying that there's freedom in doing and not having to wear it around other people. I mean, wearing it around other people, but not around your family. It's freedom, is what you're
exactly.
saying. Well, you know what? That I guess that would be, how one perceives it. But for me,
example, okay, wait a minute. For example, you're a police officer.
Right.
You put your uniform on when you walk the street. If you walk the street, right?
Right.
That represented something. That uniform represented something, and you got respect because of that uniform.
Right.
That is the hijab. That is the covering.
Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding my point. My point is not to disparage the hijab. That wasn't what I was saying.
No. I'm not saying that you did, but we're just talking about the freedom.
Yeah, I know. And my point is that there is a very profound lack of freedom when women are being executed for not wearing a hijab. You understand what I'm saying to you? Here's a woman in in Iran, who was executed because she did not wear her hijab while she was climbing a mountain. So what I'm saying is that made still a certain amount of respect, but there are amount of restrictions and guidelines that are implemented because you are wearing this hijab and you are part of this group.
Okay. Okay. If you're saying that, I don't understand. I don't know the circumstances, and
it's very. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know the circumstance behind that. I don't know what point that person was trying to make. My thing is, if you're Muslim,
trying to make a point though. She was just not wearing her hijab. She wasn't trying to make a point. She was climbing a mountain.
She was being defiant.
No, she was climbing a mountain without her hijab.
Climbing the mountain for what purpose without a hijab? And she was executed where?
She was executed in Iran. But the thing is
where? On the mountain?
No, when she got off of the mountain, because it was publicized that she was climbing the mountain on video without her hijab. And she was executed for it. You can Google
because she wanted to make a point.
No. What? She was just climbing the mountain without her hijab. It became a point because she didn't have it on.
Okay.
And that's what made her.
Is she the lady that died in the custody of everybody?
Yes.
Okay. And that's why there's other people who are rioting and doing all sorts of things.
Well, because the thing is that it is so minuscule.
Is it?
In respect to the world, not to the faith.
No, is it?
The world.
Is it?
No, to the world.
Are you sure?
No, listen, to the world, not to the faith.
Okay, because when it comes time for certain, like in Christianity, there's certain groups of people who are Muslim, and they're very orthodox. very strict in their countries.
Right.
Okay, I can go in a Muslim country in Africa. I don't cover my head all the time. Okay, but it's not like somebody's gonna beat me, kill me. But I'm a Muslim.
For it.
Okay, and there are some people. I think they're the Shia or whatever.
Yeah,
That they're very strict. And I have friends who are also Muslim with female friends who they don't associate with them, and they're from other
Should
countries.
they be executed for it though?
That's not for us to say. That's something.
Why not?
No, as a Muslim, let me say something. As a Muslim, we are taught whatever a person's religion is, whether they believe in God, don't believe in God, it's up to them. Not everybody is blessed with that.
Right.
Okay, and so we don't criticize that. I can't speak for what happened there. Not that I really can't. But the freedom as wearing a hijab, I don't find it to be, just in general.
You should have the right to wear whatever you want. You should. You should be able to. My thing is that if you choose not to, you shouldn't be persecuted for it either.
That's you. You're not Muslim. You don't have the culture or the religion to understand what a woman is doing, why she is that way, or why she chooses to be that way.
But what happens when she chooses not to is my question.
No, if she's raised up not to, you can't just do it taught and then say, I'm not going to do it. You thumb your nose at somebody. No, that's a disrespect.
So you can't leave the faith is what is being said. Right?
It's not about, some women do. Some people do leave the faith, and that's on them. Solomon Rushdie, that's their claim to fame. That's on them. What did they call it? They're apostates.
Did Rushdie leave? Did Solomon leave Muslim faith? I don't think he did. I think he did. After he wrote the book, I can't think of the name of it, but after he wrote the book, I don't think he left the faith, did he? He might have.
Of course. I mean, if you start speaking about some of the things he speaks about, it's just like some people. I think there's a guy who claims to be an imam in a certain town in the United States that is an openly gay person.
Did he? Were you talking about Santos, George Santos? Oh no, did he do?
No. That's a congressperson, but I'm saying an imam. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's what a person claims to be an imam, but you're not. You're not a Muslim.
Mm.
It's an oxymoron.
Hey, excuse me, y'all. Look, I gotta get up in about 3 hours.
Well, it's your fault because
we were still going.
Yeah, I know. And I was just letting y'all talk because I didn't want to interrupt because I didn't want to be rude.
Oh, he's an atheist. He was an atheist when he left. He left the faith completely.
Oh,
yeah. I on the bottom line is this. No matter what a person's, a religion of Abraham, I can kind of relate to them, okay? But a person who has no faith, who believes in nothing, so they say, I cannot deal. I don't have.
In God, but not believe in a faith, though.
Sorry.
Can't you believe in God but not believe in a faith?
Yes, I'm saying someone who claim to be an atheist.
Oh.
I don't have the wherewithal to want to work with them or to take them any too far.
How would you know though?
As we winded down our conversation, I read something that recently that says it's inherent in man and a human being when they're born, in their life, to seek out the Creator. That's something that comes natural. So there's no such thing as being an atheist. You know that there's something greater than yourself.
Mm.
So, I would, this is a conversation I guess we're going to have to table and let brother.
No, it's been very insightful.
Yeah, same here. But And I'm glad to bring it up. I mean, because, I'm going into the holy month of fasting in the next couple, in a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks. And I welcome it. It's like if you're a Christian and you know about Lent and sacrifice, and it's a wonderful time. So I might not be on the panel too much.
Ramadan's coming up, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a good time. We don't eat or drink during the day until sundown. It's good discipline. It's good. It's
When does
it's
it
wonderful
start?
time. It all depends on the moon, but it should be around the 23rd.
Okay.
It's a wonderful time. You spend time with family. You spend time in prayer.
You don't drink, you don't eat anything until sundown.
That's right.
Water, but nothing else.
No water.
No water?
Nothing.
Wow.
You could do it. You get a lot done. Your body is disciplined. It's not hard. If you're Christian and you're talking about the Vatican, you understand about Lent when you're fasting during the Lenten season, which is probably around now. And it's the same thing. When I was a Christian, I did the same thing. I fasted right along with my family. And so
I'm willing to try. So the 23rd will be my day.
Right, and it's something, but you do it, but before sundown you might want to break, have something to eat before you start your day. You make your prayers, like before I get on the YouTube. I'm not kidding, brother Shaq. I pray.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have to pray because I want to make sure I'm not going to say something harmful to anyone. I want to pray for everyone whose paths I meet, and I pray for you, brothers, because I had to comment. I really appreciate the conversation and the sharing of the knowledge. And I don't care how many people are here listening, don't listen, but there are those who who watch the replay. And and it makes a difference.
Absolutely. Like I said, I just had to have you because I know we hadn't talked in a while and you hadn't been on the panel, but it's always enlightening when we speak. So so that's why I'd be glad to have you on the panel. To hear your voice. So
Thank you.
We definitely. I'm sorry.
He's strict too, and it's. I enjoy speaking to him.
Oh yeah, I know. He asks about you too. He be asking about you.
Can I ask you one question, Mr. Strick? Did your daughter go yet? Did she?
Thank you, Jesus. She sure did.
Now you need to stop.
Yeah, I miss her. I'm glad she's gone.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, she's back in Germany. I'm still getting mail from her.
Oh, she's in the military. That's right. I have some folks in Germany too, in Italy and Germany.
Yeah, she's driving around. She got an E6 now, so she's doing her thing.
There you go.
Yep, she got 2 years left. I don't know if she's gonna stay in or get out, but she's doing her thing. So, married and traveling.
That's thanks to you.
Yeah, well.
No, seriously, it is. We pray, and like I say, I have much respect for her and the military who are defending us, our freedom, what you call freedom. Okay.
Yeah, I did my time, so.
There you go. No, you're doing your time. So I'm gonna let Brother Shaq get some sleep. Don't tell Erica. I don't want Erica to be mad at me.
No. Erica went to work. She came on the panel for a minute, but she got busy at work. She said she was going to. She said y'all conversation was so good she didn't want to interrupt.
Oh no, because I catch up with Erica when I deal with go to Just Jazz, your sister Just Jazz, and we have conversation. And Erica and I we have. Would you believe? See, we could think of. Would you believe Erica had a dog named Max and I had a dog named Max?
Oh wow. How ironic is that? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
I said, what are you talking about? Mine was a female. Mine was a female. And they both were German Shepherds.
Wow.
We were talking about our German Shepherds. I said I had a dog. We said it to say our dog, mine was a female named Maximiliana, but I called her Max.
Wow.
And she had a dog, her German Shepherd, her best dog that she tells stories about her being in the doghouse. The dog would hide her. You know, Max had puppies all around town.
Yeah.
But God bless you, Brother Shaq and Sister Erica, because you brought conversation to the YouTube channels that help us unwind, because there's a lot of negativity here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I appreciate it. This is Leslie speaking. I appreciate it because there's hope. You know what I'm saying, Brother Strict? Because of them, there's hope.
There's hope. There's hope.
There's hope.
I was in a bad place before I got on this call today. So
really?
Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah, so it matters. We're making moves.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's definitely, you definitely appreciate it, Leslie. Like I said, everybody that was in the chat and everything else, like I said, we appreciate you guys. And like I said, I definitely, that's why we wanted to have, and I'm gonna, if you're available Wednesday, we're gonna, I think we're just gonna have more of an open chat, and we just talk about pretty much that what we can talk about what we're talking about now. You know what I'm saying, and hear it from women and men. You're not just men and just women. You know what I mean? So that's something that we're gonna do on Wednesday. So I'm just gonna make it open, and that way we just just start off with something, and like I said, and the thing about it is, it's still, regardless of talking about different things, it was still enlightening. I mean, that's why I said let you guys have the show, because I was learning this stuff myself. So.
You just helped me to get my thoughts out. And then brother Strick, if you're feeling bad, just read Psalms. Some books in the read Psalms, or what I try to say to people: if you don't know what to do, you read Matthew 5 and Matthew 6. That Lord's Prayer and the blessings. Who are the blessed people? Okay, you just read that, and you're talking to a Muslim here, but I read the Bible. And I read the Bible. Yeah. A good Christian is a Muslim. They submit to the one true God. There is nothing God can't fix, Brother Strick. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I've seen miracles.
Well, he got some work to do.
Who? I
said he got some work to do, man.
He's doing it. Don't you see? What does the sunshine smell like? That's what gets you out of that bad place. Now you understanding what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let him do his work. Let's get out of his way. Okay. I'm gonna bid you all good night.
Man, have a great night.
Pleasure.
Hey, it's definitely a pleasure, Leslie. Like I said, I appreciate you, and definitely, like I said, everybody stay blessed and stay encouraged. You know what I mean, and stay positive.
Oh yeah.
Let's turn that negativity into a positive. That's what the message is.
Laugh at Satan.
That's it. Laugh at him. Giggle at him. That's it.
Yep.
All right.
God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless.